Hello, I'm EG and this is Crocheting with EG. And in this video I'm going to show hopefully everything that I made in my first year of crocheting. And if you could see, if I could angle the camera down, you saw this chaos right now. Just indicative of my life and my videos and everything. But because I have 2.5 hours to film this, and you'll be lucky if I actually make it through in less than 3. But I have everything here that I think. I made a big list of all the stuff that I made in the first year, so I'm going to show that off and talk about the little stories. And just settle in because this is going to be a long video. And I'm going to do like some jump. I'm not going to edit my videos because it'd take me forever to edit my videos. But I'm going to do like some jump cuts. Like if I have to go to like if I'm seeing the clock ticking or whatever, and then I think I need to get to this, I need to get to this. I'm gonna jump to those, but I'm gonna have them in like kind of categories. It doesn't look like it right now, if you saw what I can see, but I'm gonna try to do it that way. But anyway, let me move this. Or no, let me just talk about. It's not in any order. I tried to make it in order of like the stuff that I made it, but I can't do that. It'd take too long. And so I'll talk about this first, just to get this big thing out of the way. This is the blanket that I'm making my mom, and it's the whole reason I learned to crochet in the first place is because I wanted to make, because my mom was a crocheter in the family, and she made practically everybody a blanket. She made me a couple of blankets over the years. But I knew that she would never make herself a blanket, so I thought maybe I can learn to crochet and make her the blanket that she would never make herself. And so I'm making her a blanket, and it's royal blue. There's a story, one of many that that's to come in this video, but there's a story that my mom had this really nice blue blanket. It was just like a plain blue fuzzy blanket, and she gave it to her mom. Her mom lived in West Virginia, and her mom, my grandma, came down, and she loved that blanket when she was staying down here. It was probably like around a Christmas or something. And so my mom like gave her the blanket, and she kind of like regretted giving it to her because it was like her favorite blanket, but you know, it was her mom, so she wanted her mom to have it. And so and then after she died, it was so many years later, we never never even thought to see if there was the blanket among her stuff, and so she never got her blanket back. It was just, you know, so many years later and stuff. But she always remembered that, like, and I always remembered her loving that blue blanket. So I thought if I make her a crocheted blanket, I'm gonna kind of replace that one that my mom doesn't have anymore. And so that's what I am doing now. And I'm using single crochet, which I kind of regret, but not really, because it's going to be the stitches are much tighter and stuff, and it's going to be a lot warmer with the single crochet. But it's a beast crocheting this thing. And so you know, I have been crocheting for like a year, but I'm still not done yet because it's like really, it's massive. And of course, with single crochet and you're making a blanket, you know, it's like I feel like in the crochet community, I've heard it said many times that like if you make it through a single crochet blanket, it's like this big accomplishment because of how tedious and how long it takes. And so like you're crocheting and you think, oh, I got a row done and another row done, and then you look down and it's like, you know, this much bigger. So it's like, you know, it's really nice. It's just not. It's still on a little bowl. I use the little bowl method. I don't have like the fancy yarn bowls. I'd rather spend the money for a yarn bowl on yarn. And so I just use like I saw this on YouTube, and so you just use it in a bowl with the ball of yarn and the little clip thing on it. But so that's what I'm using that, or how I'm using that. And then this is the blanket, and you probably can't even see it. I'm a little stitch mark and I want to pull it. So it's just like a solid blue, like a royal blue kind of color, and I can't even get the whole thing in the frame. But it's probably like halfway done, I think. I can't remember how wide it, or maybe a third of the way done. I don't know. I bought all the skeins for it. It's on my shelf over here. It's in the little cloth bag or whatever. And so I just bought like all the skeins. I have them all because I'd measured it out, and I think one skein makes about 5 inches. And so I'd measured it out and got as many skeins as I needed. So I have all the skeins. I just need to work on it more and stuff. But I've made a lot of other things too. So that's the whole reason I learned to crochet in the first place, is to make this, and I'm still not done with it, which I feel bad about, but I will get to it. And it's the height of summer. I'm like sweating. I was gonna say something else. I need to curb my cussing. But I'm sweating, like, you know, sweating a lot because of how hot it is here. And so it's not like she's going to be needing a blanket now, because it's, you know, in the start of summer. So anyway, so that's the whole reason I started to crochet. But the first thing I crocheted was I started to crochet bookmarks. Because I was learning to crochet, I watched YouTube videos and I learned to crochet, and I was making all these like little swatches and stuff. And if you don't know, I'm a writer first, and this is just one of my interests and stuff. So when I started to make all these little swatches or not really swatches, but like these, you know, little tiny squares and stuff, just to like try to learn the stitches and how to crochet and everything. They started to kind of look like bookmarks, and I thought that might be something, like I didn't really get into this thinking, oh, I'm gonna make a profit off of this and turn this into part of my art business or what, like I'm gonna start selling crochet. I really just did it to learn how to crochet so that I could make my mom a blanket. And so then when I started to make all these little things, and I thought they kind of look like bookmarks, I thought, well, maybe that could be like a little side hobby, and like another thing to kind of like supplement any income I make from like some of the creative stuff that I do, and it would kind of fit in with like my brand or whatever, because I'm a writer, and so it would make sense for me to make bookmarks. And so that's how the whole bookmark idea came about. And so I have a bunch of bookmarks. Get ready. And I'm not gonna tip. Benny, or sounded like Pee Wee Herman, or sound like one of the Muppets or something. The box right here. See, these are like this is like the drawer that I pulled out of one of these things over here. So these are like all the bookmarks that I've made, and I won't go through, like, I'll show like really quick glimpses of all of them, but I won't tell like the stories, because I have stories about practically every single one of them. Oh, this is the one where I, you know, doubled up yarn first, and this one where I you know, changed colors for, or like whatever. But I'm not going to go through all the details of like all the yarns and stuff, because this video is going to be long anyway. So let me just go through and just show the or let me show the first one, wherever the hell, or wherever the crap it is. I'll just edit all this out. I should just leave it in, because apparently people love how, you know, scatterbrained and stuff I am, and you know, they think it's hilarious that I'm just all over the place. God, I'm glad that somebody finds it funny. I don't. But this is the first. I wanted the first bookmarks that I made to be one for my mom and one for me. And so this is the one I made for my mom, and I make tassels for mine. And the I probably, because I love like glittery things and beads and, you know, like, and sequins and so I just thought of like making tassels for it, for the bookmarks, that are probably a little more detailed than they need to be. Most people just like use some yarn and put it on there, and maybe put like one bead on it, like around the knot or something. But in my head, I'd rather have it like full of beads and like glittery beads and like pretty beads, whatever, and like charms and stuff. Because I would buy pony beads at they had like these packs at Dollar General, and I'm not crazy about the pony beads unless you're using yarn. I use cross stitch thread, or what do they call it, embroidery floss or whatever. I use that for the most of the tassels, and so I'm not crazy about the pony beads because they're too big for like embroidery floss or whatever. And so but they had in Dollar General, they had the pony beads, and they had little packs of charms with them. And so I this is the one I put on my mom's. It's purple, and because she likes purple, and it has like a little kitty on it, because where she works is there's like these little stray kitties that she takes care of, so she loves kitties and stuff. And so that's how I made her, and mine looks exactly the same wherever the hell it is, or wherever the crap. It doesn't matter. If you I'm not gonna, hopefully not say, you know, the S word or the F word, but you know, it's really hard not to. But if you know, a hell or a damn or something comes out, just, you know, don't get too offended. So this is mine, and it's the same yarn, and the beads that I used are like these black glittery ones. My mom picked out these beads for herself, and these are the ones I picked out because they're black and they're kind of glittery and stuff. And it has a black tassel. And then the charm I picked was a rainbow. It was in one of those packs of the charms. I hope you can see that. So I picked out a rainbow, for obvious reasons. And so, let's see. Let me just go through these. Like some of these, they're sort of important. I like have an actual story behind them. Some of them are just like generic. And I haven't done all the beads and the tassels and stuff on every single one of them yet because I'm a procrastinator. I'll do other things. No, so like a lot of them are just like these really generic, these really pretty ones that are just kind of generic. And most of these are the trade paperback size. And I made some 10th Kingdom bookmarks, which I'll show later in the video. And I'm gonna and they're more of like the mass market paperback size. So I'm gonna go back and when I finish these bookmarks, I'm gonna make mass market paperback size bookmarks to match these. And so whenever I sell them in the future, the ones I do sell, there will be like a trade paperback length version, and then there'll be a mass market paperback version. So a lot of them are just like these really generic kind of colors, and it's like this one. And like this is the one where I brought it down to a point for the first time. This is like some scrap yarn that I found from I think it was like see I have stories for every single bookmark, like where this yarn came from, and like whatever. I'm not going to go through every single one of them because God, this is going to be you know, way longer than it should be. But I brought this to a point because I needed to bring it to a point because of a bookmark I made for my niece's teacher, which I'll get to. And so like I'll just kind of go through these really quick. I steamed them, but they're I didn't steam them too much, but so like, you know, just really generic kind of bookmarks and really pretty colorful ones, and some with like, you know, the glittery yarn. I hope you can see it on this crappy camera. And some of them with like just yarn that I bought. This is like a thicker yarn, and then this one I made where I went long ways. It's a little bit too long, but made that one and like this one. There's a fly flying around. God, you're gonna hear like buzzing. Watch, I'm gonna play this back, and I think, God, I'm gonna have to edit around a fly that's flying around. We're getting horse flies. I hate how they cycle in all these bugs and stuff. So like that one, I think this is Joanne yarn. It's a really pretty color. And some of these I did in single crochet. Some I did in the moss stitch. And this is like a sort of a brownish color with black in it. And so some with the moss, some with the single crochet. And so there's that one. As I'm saying this, I know that there's another one I need to go get. I tried to gather up everything, but you know, I forgot. And so this one and this one. Are you dozing off yet? No. This is another one where I went up to a point. Or no, okay. I think the camouflage one, I went to a point because I had a little extra of that. It was just like a little scrap piece of yarn, and I had a little extra and I didn't want to waste it. But this is the one where I went to a point for the bookmark from my niece's teacher. And so another one here and another one here. So I've just made tons of bookmarks, and more. And so this one and this one, it's like a thicker yarn, and this one. And if you see any of these yarns and or these bookmarks and you want to know what colorway these are, I can try to figure out which colorway it is. Some of them are just from skeins I haven't, I still have, and I've only got or used enough to make a bookmark. So if you see any colors that you like, and I could try to figure out what colorway I used. This one is, I think it's chunky yarn from Michael's or something, and I tried to like piece it together where it was like rainbow color, but it didn't turn out very well. I'm not going to sell all of these. Some of these are like, you know, sort of like these way too big because it's chunky yarn, and because I would use the same amount of stitches and rows, and so depending on the thickness of the yarn, sometimes they would end up bigger or smaller than the other ones. And so like this is way too big. I'm not gonna. I can't talk. I could almost turn it into like a cuff or something. It's so big. So I don't know. Some of them are going to be repurposed as other things, or just, you know, not, or just be scraps or whatever. And so that one, and like some of these are repeats. If you think, oh, you just showed that one, I have made multiples of some of them, and I'm just not paying attention to which one I'm showing. This is one. It's a little bit too long, although I thought it was, but now that I look at it, it's not really too long. But it was a yarn. I tried to. I wanted to go like this is the first time I ever did a border around a bookmark, and because I know that you have to like kind of increase to go around the corners and stuff, and I didn't know how to do a border yet, and so that's what I did with this one, because I thought the colors would kind of go well together. And this one has a really cool story. I need to like adjust these too. I made a blocking board, but that didn't really work, and so I just used a steamer, but I still need to kind of go back and adjust these. But this bookmark right here, I made it, and it's a Hobby Lobby yarn, whatever it is, and I showed my niece, and she said, "Oh, it's like a sunset." Like, I didn't really see that, because I can't remember which way I even did it, or it was just like a pretty colorway, and so I thought, I'd just make it. And she said, "Oh, it's like a sunset," and because like to her, she saw like the water down here, and then the sunset, above the water, like at the on the horizon, and what is cool about this yarn, this is a specific colorway, is it's not so scattered that like you can't replicate it. So if you get it the right at the right moment, you can and you use the same number of stitches and rows that I use for these. It makes them like over and over again. So there's like 2 in here, I think. And so I thought it was kind of cool. And I bought some charms, just like these big packs of charms with all these generic charms in it. And there's a lot of like beachy ones, like with the old starfish and seahorses and like all that kind of stuff. And so I thought I could use those for these kind of bookmarks and make sort of a beachy thing, like if you're on the beach and you're reading or whatever. And and then this one, and then this one, and then this one. I'll just like put this on fast forward or like what are those time lapse kind of things where it's all sped up and stuff. That's what I ought to do with these, but I'll just leave it. It doesn't matter. I need to figure out how to do it in my video editor. I don't even want to take the time to do that. So anyway, this is the one that where I changed colors. I used like this gold and blue. I thought it actually kind of worked really well together, the colors, and that was just sort of a happy accident. I just was changing colors. And then this one, I think it's this yarn doubled up. This is yarn I think that used to belong to my mom, and it almost has like a slight glitteriness to it. This must have been like the original kind of like metallic yarn. It has like a little bit of glitteriness to it. It's really pretty. And then another one of these, or maybe this is just like the first one that I showed them back and forth. And this is one of those that I've talked about in one of my other videos. I think this is just the thinner. This that Perplexed from Joanne, where I talked about that there was a knot, and then the yarn on one side of the knot was thin, and the other side it was other side it was thick. Thank you everybody in the comments for saying take a breath. I have to remind myself of that all the time, just because of how my brain is just like constantly running, and it's kind of hard to get words out sometimes, and they stumble coming out because I'm having to thinking of like 3 things at once, trying to get it all out. So thank you for reminding me to breathe. I had to do that myself. But and so there's this one, and see, like, this is like really thin. I wish I could find the one. Okay, so this is that red from Joanne, the Big Twist, and where I said that it's a really nice significant yarn, and it made a really pretty bookmark. But see, I used the same number of rows and stitches per row, but you can tell how much thinner this purple yarn is if you compare the two. I use the same stitches and same number of rows and all that, and yet it's like it's thinner and shorter. So like, that's why it was kind of frustrating when I was using Joanne yarn, because it was, or the Big Twist yarn, because it was it has inconsistency issues with like the texture of it and stuff. The colors are all like gorgeous. I love that the colors were never an issue. I take that back, because I realized that the dye-lot of some of these Pride ones are a little off, but anyway, I guess it's just an issue with yarn. They're never going to be perfect, but anyway. So this one is another metallic one, and I'm already reaching 20 minutes. Holy crap. And then this one, and then this one. Oh, fuzz on it. And then this one, or what I should do is just like, these are the generic ones. Talk about the ones that actually have a story. This is like a thinner yarn. I think this was Hobby Lobby clearance yarn from last year. It's like a thinner yarn. Or no, wait, doesn't matter. And like another generic one. Oh, this is like, see how I replicated it, and I just got to the when it I forget which color I'm on, but like whenever I got to the next color, it made the perfect sunset bookmark again. Let me go into the ones that actually have a story, and so I can break this up into that. This is no, this is just like a regular red, white, and blue, where I change the colors and stuff, and I use those because those pony beads, they had a lot of like stars and stuff, and so I use like red, white, and blue stars, and like the yarn with the pony beads, because I needed to use those pony beads for something, and so I have like a patriotic red, white, and blue one. Let's see. Oh, this one is I have like the black and white colorway I used for this. It kind of reminds you of Dalmatians. See what I'm saying? It kind of reminds you of Dalmatians. I need you to just slow down. But God, my videos would be like 8 hours long. And anyway, so the yarn I use for this is like black and white, and it kind of reminded me of Dalmatians. And my mom, like, I want to do a video in the future where I show not just the blankets that my mom made, but she also used to do cross stitching, and which you could see better. And she just has some really beautiful cross stitching, and she did this cross stitching once where she did a Dalmatian dog, and then the piece of material, like the whatever you cross stitch on, that material, she used red, and so it's this really cool thing where it's like this red piece of cross stitching fabric, and then she has the Dalmatian on it. And so like when I thought of when I saw the black and white and how it kind of reminded me of Dalmatians, I thought I had seen somebody do surface crochet, and so I wanted to kind of do that with something, but I didn't know what to do it with. And so when it was reminding me of Dalmatians, I thought maybe I can put a little bit of red on it, like this little red border on it with surface crochet, and it kind of reminds me of like that thing that my mom made with the Dalmatian. And if I make the video where I show her, see what I'm saying? You can hear that horse fly. I can hear it. It's irritating. Maybe it'll drown out some of my filler words. Because like, instead of saying you'll just hear zzz. But the in the video where I show my mom's blankets that she's made, maybe I'll throw in her cross stitching too, if you're into that, because I'm really proud of her beautiful cross stitching and everything. We're like a really crafty family, and everybody has done something artistic or whatever, or crafty in some way. My grandma used to do things too, and my sister, and I wish I had some of her art, but so there's that. And then this one. Okay, this one, of course, obviously, a pride one. And so this is the very first one that I did. I'm keeping this. I'll replicate it. I'll make multiples of these. But this is the first one where I actually learned how to change colors. And what I do is I knot it off on the not knot it off, but no, I knot the ends. I know that some people just like put the little loop on the hook and like pull it through, and that's fine with them, but I did that once and it started to pull the like out the side. Maybe I just didn't do it right, but I always knot the ends. And so if you buy a bookmark from me and it has like where I change colors and you can see like the little knots on the end or something, I'm sorry, I cannot do it without knotting it on the end, because I need to make sure that it's not going to come apart. That's just my thing. And so this is the pride one. And the purple isn't coming up very well on the camera, but because it's a crappy camera. But then the tassel, I used these pretty beads and made like the rainbow colors, and then used another one of those rainbows, and then all the different color cross stitching thread or embroidery floss, whatever. And so I'm keeping that one, but I'm gonna make more of those. And this one I made. It's clay colored because I'm gonna give this to I want to reconnect with my because hang on. See how I'm trying to tell a story and have like, you know, 5 things that I want to say at once. So let me try to break this down into a linear story, so it's not like all coming out at once. So one of the things I use is moldable plastic, and I already mentioned it in another video, and you need to look it up. It's really cool. It's an expensive medium, but it's really fun to work with. And reason why I wanted to use that is because I really loved ceramics in school. I'm staring at my ceramics right now. Let me show this. This video is going to be long enough anyway. I'm going to show my ceramics in a video on my website network. Like, here's this one, and it's like a videotape, and it's a rattle. It's called Broken Video. Like, I have a lot of ceramics and stuff, and I loved ceramics class in high school. I have what is it? Not a turtle. Or I was about to say turtle and tortoise at the same time. A snail, and it's a whistle. So blowing this little butt. But I have like all kinds of ceramics, and I love ceramics class. But I didn't like when I got out of school. I wanted to find something to, you know, that I could make like in ceramics class, but I wasn't crazy about the air dry clay, and kilns were way too expensive, and so I eventually found moldable plastic, and it's really cool because it hardens into plastic, and then if you mess up you can remelt it, and so I want to connect with her, my old ceramics teacher, because she still does ceramics and everything, and I want to connect with her, and I wanted to make her a bookmark and use my moldable plastic to kind of make a little charm for it that would mimic like one of my ceramic pieces, and you know, like connect with her and tell her about how I'm still, you know, forming things with my hand and stuff, and still inspired by, you know, her teaching in ceramics class, but I'm just not using clay. I'm using a different medium and stuff, and so I wanted to make her a bookmark, and I wanted to find a clay colored bookmark, and a clay colored yarn, and so I finally found one. That when I was first looking, I found a clay colored yarn, and it was cotton, but I wasn't crazy about the texture of it. I still have the skein up there on my shelf, so I made it, but I wasn't crazy about the texture of it, and so my niece saw it, and she put it on her wrist like this. She said, "Oh, maybe can you make one of these and make it into like a little bracelet for me?" And so I didn't want to make another one. I didn't really want to use that. I wanted to find a better clay colored yarn. So I went ahead and just turned that into. As I'm talking, I'll put like the little clips over what I'm saying, and so. I turned it into a little cuff for her. That's one of the first ones it was the first one that I used Velcro to bring it together instead of like tying them together like these. And so I put her initial on it, and with surface crochet, and then turned it into a little cuff for her. I don't have it here because it's at her house. But and so then I found a better clay colored yarn to remake this. And so and I have some embroidery floss, or I say cross stitching thread because that's always what it's going to be in my head, because I think of my mom, cross stitching, and that's always been cross stitching thread in my head. Embroidery floss is something new that I learned from YouTube, like literally like 2 years ago. So I do have some like clay colored embroidery floss, and I'm gonna make the little charm and stuff. And so see, I have all kinds of whips and things that I need to finish or whatever, and this is just like the ceramic, it's on the brain. This is just like the crochet stuff. I have tons of other whips and that have nothing to do with crochet. And so then this is just like another, and this is where I did a little tassel with the yarn. I wanted to learn how to do the tassel, or like the fringe that you call it, like on a scarf. And so I did that on a bookmark. And so I don't know if I'll sell this one or not, but it was just like a little thing. I did that. But let me see. Oh, this is just another white one that's, or another one that's white and it's done. It has like the pony beads, and it has like, see, like these are the kind of beads I love, like this, like real glittery. I have a big bag of beads, and see, the TV movie reference in my head is from Everybody Loves Raymond. She goes, a big bag of bibs, whatever, and that alliterative joke that she made, and so. It just has like white yarn and stuff like that, and then I use the pony beads because I don't think I have any like really nice white beads. These are the only ones I have, and so I wanted to make like an all white one, and so that's the one I made that's all white. But the one I made for my niece's teacher is, or she wanted me to make her teacher a bookmark, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to make one that was shaped like a pencil. And I didn't use the pattern. I'm really proud of this, and you can. It's not like I made up something and nobody could ever replicate it, but like I'm really proud of this, and so. Don't sell these. Like if you want to make a pencil or what, there may be people that made these before, I don't know. But if you want to make a pencil or whatever, you can. But I want to be the one to sell these because I'm really proud of this. Because I had to make up like some kind of pencil thing. All it is like rows and stuff, and then bringing it to a point. It's not like I made something that nobody could ever replicate. You know what I'm saying? But I'm really proud of these this pencil because this isn't the one that my niece gave her teacher because she gave it to her teacher, but this is the one that I made to one of the first one. I need to do that because my the light isn't very good. The one I made to sell, and it has like the eraser and like the little metal part, and then like the pencil, and then I brought it down to a point. That's why I had made that bookmark where it brought it down to a point because I needed to learn how to do it for this, and so. That's like on this shelf over here. That's what all those yarns are for like those 4 specific yarns are for making these because I want to make a whole bunch of these for like teachers, or if you know a teacher or whatever, or if you just think it's really cool and like a little pencil or whatever. But the tassel on the one that I'm probably gonna put a better tassel on this one to sell, but the tassel on the one that my niece gave her teacher is like when I started to crochet and stuff, and my niece would come over here all the time, and she wanted like my little scraps of yarn and everything. She got into making those braided bracelets that we all made in school, or I did because I was a crafty little guy. But when you take yarn and like braid little bracelets and like little friendship bracelets and stuff, and so my niece was getting into that, and so I thought I sort of felt bad that like of course she hadn't learned to crochet yet, and so I made this for her to give her teacher, but I sort of felt bad because there wasn't anything that was part of it that was from her, and so I thought maybe I could attach like 3 strands of I think it was 3, or maybe I used 6. I forget, but I attached the 3 or 6 or whatever strands of yarn, and just like left them dangling there, and so I told her that I left them like this so that you can braid them like one of your braided bracelets, so that you can tell your teacher that that we gave it to her, that you actually were part of making it and everything. And so she got to like make the tassel, and the little charm that I couldn't find any, or I didn't have any apples in all those charms, all those all those charms that I had. There wasn't an apple in them, and they had some on Amazon, but I didn't want to commit to like buying a bunch of apple charms because I didn't know if this was gonna turn out, or if I was gonna need a whole bunch of them. So I just made one out of moldable plastic. It's a little messed up because the one thing about the moldable plastic is it's kind of hard to get like really small details. But I made a little apple charm for that one, and so she got to give it to her teacher. Her teacher just loved it, and she was telling me that her teacher was like putting it in her book and everything, and like the whole class, and she loved it. And so I got to like make this, and she got to add to it and a little piece of herself when she made the tassel and give it to her teacher. I'm really glad that she loves school so much, and wanted me to make her teacher a bookmark of all things. But and then this one. And this is a special one. Although, okay, this is the first one. It's a little messed up because I use those Aunt Bea mini makers, and it's a really, I mean, it's cheap yarn. So what do you expect? But it's kind of a crappy yarn, and it's just kind of like it's starting to get fuzzy and stuff. I'm not even using this, and it just feels like it's getting kind of fuzzy or whatever. But like this one that I used, I forget what yarn I used for these, or it's the other 6 colors right here on my shelf. Or these are I love this yarn, but the Aunt Bea mini makers just made it kind of fuzzy because it's really cheap yarn. So this is a very special one that I'm going to make a lot of versions of. I mean, a lot of copies of, and I have a very specific. I'm not going to go into the details about the tassels. I have the little charms for them, and the little beads for the tassel and everything. But there's something kind of special about this. If you follow me beyond my crochet and into the future, when something I do materializes, this is going to have some kind of significance. I'm not saying that this is going to be a collector's item. You're going to become a millionaire if you buy it. No, there's just something kind of there's a meaning behind this that will be revealed, you know, years later probably, at this point. But you know, if you buy one of these, it's not just like these random colors. There's a very specific reason why it looks like this and why the tassel is going to look like it is. And if, you know, something that I do materializes into the future, then you're gonna probably have something that, you know, will not be collectible in some sort of monetary way, but it would be kind of cool that you have like these. Or I would think it would be cool because I know what's coming. But anyway, so I'm gonna make more of those, and so that's basically all the, like, the ones that probably with the stories. So like just generic ones. What I ought to do is just like that's what, yeah, the fly noise, you know, you probably think that there's a fly buzzing around again, but no, it's just me, like, you know, fast forwarding through my, you know, rambling, and just, like, you know, showing random bookmarks and stuff, which, you know, is just kind of boring, but anyway, so these, and this is like one of those that was from the clearance last year of Hobby Lobby, and then this is that black and white yarn, I think, that I used for the other one, or I don't know, I have so many yarns. You know how it is. You can see them. Oh, this is one where I... Oh, crap. Or, okay, I forgot I can just edit it in. Like the one that I was talking about, the Wizard of Oz one in the other video, and I already showed in detail in the other video. Those were the other bookmarks, where I actually made the little grid and everything. And I forgot to put the picture of the grid in there so that if you want to make it yourself, you can have the don't sell it though, because it uses, like, it's supposed to allude to the ruby slippers, and you'll get sued by whoever owns the ruby slippers. But you can make them, like, I don't care. Because I can't make a profit off of the ruby slippers or Wizard of Oz or anything. So it was just like a fun thing for myself because I love the Wizard of Oz so much. But, so you can have a little grid if you want to make yourself one. And you're a huge Wizard of Oz fan. I still need to make the tassel one for that too. I'm gonna probably put like emeralds or like whatever on it, like, you know, emerald colored beads, not real emeralds. If I had, you know, enough money to have emeralds, I'd either, like, not be doing this, or I would, you know, be doing this even harder because I would have, like, even more yarn. If I had that kind of money, I wouldn't have that kind of money because I would have spent it all on yarn and crap. But so this is one where I try to design. Sometimes when I watch my niece, like, especially during the summers, I have to, like, find things to do because I'm just I love her to death. But you know what I'm saying. Like, it's just like busy, especially when she was younger. And so luckily now she's like one of those phone kids, and she's like, you know, always on her phone or tablets or like whatever, sometimes both. And so she keeps herself busy now, but like when she was younger, I had to find things to do. So this one is one I just needed something to do, and so I wanted to do another one of those, like, tapestry, Grafgan kind of grid things as a bookmark, and it's not the best kind of thing. It was just like one that I sort of made up, and I used like Christmas colors and made like a candy cane. It actually looks better on the back than it does on the front because of how the yarn crossed over. So it wasn't really successful, but it was just like another one that I made. I don't even know if I'll sell this. It's just kind of like interesting. I do love Christmas. And just another generic one. And this is one where I had these, like, sort of random yarns, and I kind of made one with like a stripe down the middle. My light is like right here. I need to get a light. Because it's sort of in shadow, isn't it? So I just made this, like, random one with like a border around it, and like this. It's just sort of like an interesting bookmark, and it has like a dark purple in it. And just another generic one, and another generic one. And again, if you see one and you think, oh, what yarn was that? I'll try to figure out what it is. This is like sort of a teal color. And then this is that one that it's the inclusivity, where I was really excited to get the inclusivity from Joann. I'd ordered it online. This is before I even got to go to Joann in person. And they the skein showed up, and then I realized how screwed up the color changes were, how it's all back and forth and everything, how it's like, I mean, the hat turned out okay. But, you know, if you make something small like this, it doesn't work very well. And so, like, it's sort of back and forth. And so it's like red, and then it goes to orange for a little bit, but then it goes back to red for some reason, and then it goes back to orange, you know, completely. And then it goes to yellow, but then it switches back to orange just a little bit, and then it goes back to yellow. Or, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's irritating. And you would think I would appreciate this because of how scatterbrained I am, and, like, my thoughts are all over the place. But this is just like, it looks like I'm messed up. And I have OCD, and so, like, looking at this, I just think this just doesn't look right. I mean, it's my expectations. I expected it to be a certain way, and it just didn't meet my expectations, and they designed it to look a certain way, and that's fine. But and so if I'm disappointed, it's my own thing. But like, it just doesn't look very good. And then I had to pull out like, I forget how many it was. 20 minutes, hang on. But I had to pull out, like, you know, yards and yards and yards and yards to get to the purple down at the bottom, because the thing with the yarn is it kind of goes like red, orange, yellow, not exactly like this, because of course it, you know, goes back and forth too, but you know, generally it's like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then it goes in reverse. Like from the purple it goes back to blue, and then and green, and like, or what, it sort of like, you know, goes, it's not like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. It's like, you know, it sort of does this thing where it goes back, like where the colors are in reverse. And so I had to like pull and pull and pull just to get to the purple. And then even because I thought maybe I can, you know, this is way too big anyway, I thought I can get to the purple just to do like on the outside, but then even then it went back to blue, like for this, because you know it does that thing where like you change to purple and you think, oh good, it's purple, and then it goes back to blue. And so this just, it wasn't successful, and I wasn't crazy about it. And also I feel like the dye lot with this was just not very good, because the red in this especially, it looks kind of like a rusty sort of red. You compare it to an actual red, like on this one, I mean the red is so much nicer in this than it is in the inclusivity. It almost makes this look brown, and the purple's a little dull, and it wasn't, I guess it wasn't a dye lot or good dye lot or something. But and I did use, eventually used the rest of that skein for one of those circle things, which I'll talk about if I can ever get through all these bookmarks. Another one of these, and then another one of these, and oh my god. God, I'm not even going to get through the bookmarks today. It feels like. I ought to just like speed through these. Alright. Dropping crap. Alright. And there's this one. There's a metallic one. And then a silver metallic. And then this one. And this one. And Christmassy one, and this one, and this one, like fall colors. I'm not crazy about like browns and neutrals and stuff, but I do love fall, and so I do have an affection for like fall colors, even though I'm not, you know, crazy about neutrals. And this is like a pastel one, but which is pretty if you like pastels, but I can appreciate that, but you know, I'm just not crazy about pastels either. And then this one, and then the red metallic, and then this one, I feel like this is the moss stitch, and this one, and then this one, I feel like this is cotton. I didn't buy this cotton. It must have been in, because sometimes I'll find yarn at Goodwill or something, and it's ridiculously priced. Like just the other day, I'll just go off on another tangent. This video's gonna be long enough anyway. Just the other day, they had this big bag of yarn. A lot of it was that like loop yarn or whatever, that the stuff where you use your hands. I looked it up, and it seems easy enough to do, but it seems like every store I ever see that in, they just they can never get rid of it. And it's like this big bag, and it's like full of all this that kind of yarn, and like really old dry rotted looking yarn, and just, you know, not very good yarn. And they had like $20 on it, and I thought, like, nobody's getting, like Ollie's can't even get rid of that loop yarn for $2 a skein, and nobody's gonna spend $20 at Goodwill when they got it for free. And I'm realizing more and more as I do these videos that I'm like the most, I feel like an old man. I'm gonna be 40 in a couple months. I feel like some old man. That's all I'm doing is talking or complaining about like prices and stuff. Do you know that the price of that, and I didn't even have a coupon, or like, I don't know. I just feel like I'm just constantly talking about like deals and coupons, and so I don't know. It seems ridiculous, but it's very I'm sure it's because I'm, you know, getting older and stuff. Obviously, I'm like watching game shows and stuff. You know, getting home to watch Wheel of Fortune or The Wall or whatever on Game Show Network, and then I'm complaining about prices and stuff, and I got a coupon, and it, like, I don't know. It just seems weird. It's just, it tells me that I'm getting old. So but this was like in a bag at Goodwill, probably an overly priced bag of yarn, and so it's really pretty, and it's a softer kind of cotton, but you can tell it's cotton. and this one, and I made like 3 of these. This feels a little rough. I feel like this came from a thrift store or something. And then this one, like this pretty red. This is one of those where it has like a little bit of like black in it too, and it's kind of hard to show on camera, but this is a really pretty one. And then and this is like, okay, so some I made with single crochet and some I made with the moss stitch, and so how they look a little bit different and stuff, and it really does add a different look to the bookmarks to use the different stitches. And then this one, and then this one. No, I made a lot out of that Mexicana. When I was disappointed with the inclusivity, I found Mexicana, and I thought, well, at least the colors are consistent. You know, like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. The color changes are like a little bit too short, so it sort of creates this like this wavy effect or whatever. But I mean, it's really cool. But I was hoping that would be like a sort of a rainbow thing, but it just wasn't. And like this is another one. Okay, this is from Joanne, like that big twist where like remember I had said that the green was like really thin or whatever, and thin and splitty, and so like see how much smaller this bookmark is compared to like the red wherever it is. It's just see, like the green, how much, even the green is that much thinner because I use the same number of stitches and the same number of rows, and see how much shorter it is and how much thinner it is compared to the red. So that's why I was never that crazy about big twist yarn. So just because of how inconsistent it was when I got it. And like another thin one, I feel like, okay, see how it's really thin up here, but then it's a little bit thicker down here. There's like this sort of change in the middle of it. This is because it's the thick yarn, and then I got to a knot, and then it changed over to this like thin yarn, and so this bookmark is just like inconsistent. I know it's not that noticeable, but to me it is. It feels like really nice bookmark at the top, and then the bottom it just like turns into this like thin yarn. It just sucks. This I already showed the other day. I need to weave in the ends, but that was sort of like after the first year. And then this is where I tried to use that purple doubled up, but it's like a little bit too thick. But I used the purple doubled up because it was so thin. And I was trying to make that. I love the big twist yarn colors. I was trying to make that yarn work. I did everything I could to try to make it work. And then this one, I guess because the yarn was so thick, this was the same number of stitches and rows, but this is Red Heart Super Saver, like a fall color, and it's like a little too long. So I don't know if I'm gonna sell that one or not. This is just like random colors. I was trying to make that sunset thing with just some solid scraps that I had, and it didn't turn out very well, but oh, okay, no, wait a minute. That one where I did the outside where it looked like, I thought it was longer than it was, but it looked nice. This is the one that was like longer than it should have been. So that's what this one is. I just forgot. So this is the first one I did where I did the border around it for the first time, and so but see, it's just like a little bit too long because I didn't get the proportions right. And so this is a moss stitch, and this one. And then this one, I feel like this, sometimes if I get a thin yarn, I'll mix it with a couple different yarns, and it makes like a different look. And this one, I use that pastel color yarn, and then I use that thin yarn that I said was like the metallic, must have been like the original kind of metallic yarn, and I mixed them together, and it made this. And so sometimes you can take 2 yarns and mix them together, and it makes like a completely different look. And a little pink one with glitter. And this one, and then this one, and then this one where I use that same metallic yarn, that thinner metallic yarn, and I mixed it with like a thin pink, and it made this pretty one. It's a thin pink that's on my oddball shelf. It's like this really thin pink, and so I mixed those two together. It made this really cool effect. And then this one, it's like a moss stitch, and then this one, and it's cool. And then this one, and this one, and this one. This is that thin yarn by itself. See how much thinner it is? It's like almost, it's too thin to be a bookmark. Or maybe this would probably be like a mass market paperback. And then this one, there's another one where I was taking that Perplex, and then I mixed it. Tried to mix it with black, which it turned okay. It turned out okay, but it's like it's really thick. It's too thick or whatever. But I was trying to make that perplexed work. And okay, I think that might be, I have this one that I need to weave in the ends, and then this one I need to weave in the ends too, whatever. And then, but I think that's all the main bookmarks, except for this one. This is the one I made for myself. It has, it's black glitter yarn, which I don't know if you can tell, but and then it has like black glitter beads, and then like a solid black tassel, and so I'm keeping this one, but like this is like, you know, perfect for my style. I love black and everything, so I wanted to make myself that one, and I just found like these all black glittery beads, but that's not all the bookmarks I made. I also made one for my my best friend, and she has a tattoo that has a moon and some stars, and so I made her a pretty bookmark, and I finally got it to her after like 8 or 9 months, and so she has it now, but I do have video of it, and so you can see that. And then I made that for her because the little charm has a moon and a star on it, so I thought that was kind of perfect for her. And then I made a bookmark for my mom knows this woman, and it's sort of a personal story of, like, you know, something that she was going through, and something that the woman was going through, and so I made something for her, and there's a sort of a special meaning behind it, but I don't want to go into it because it's like, it's more of a personal story about her life and everything. And so, but I did make a bookmark for my mom to give to that woman as a gift, and it turned out that that woman actually crochets and stuff. She just happened to we didn't know that she knew how to crochet and had this passion for it, and so it was kind of like this unintentionally perfect gift, because like, not just the meaning behind it, but, you know, the fact that my mom gave her like something that was crocheted, so it was kind of like a perfect gift for her. And then otherwise, oh no, I made my niece a Wednesday one. I mixed a purple and a white and black yarn together to make a bookmark, and then when I made it, I thought it kind of reminded me of the colors from Wednesday, that Netflix show that she loves. And I've never seen it, but I feel like I've seen it because, you know, she told me about every single scene, so I feel like I've already seen it, but because she'll say like, oh, and then the scene after that, you know, Wednesday says this, and then Enid comes in and she says this. She's recapped the entire thing. You know, it's like, you know, I know every single big moment in it and everything. I could never be like a reactor and make a reaction video to it, because I think, oh, that's that scene that she already told me about, you know, like 3 times. So I already know. I've been spoiled with Wednesday. I already know all about it, and because she just talks about it. And I made her like this little Wednesday collectible shelf or whatever. It has like her little collectibles on it that we have over here, and then she has we bought her the Wednesday novelization, because she really loves reading, which is a really good thing. And so I got her that, and or no, this was before that, because we had gotten her the coloring book, you know, because they have all kinds of Wednesday stuff, and so I thought of, like, you know, making her or making this into a Wednesday bookmark, because it sort of reminded me of that. Now I kind of said to her, oh, it kind of reminds you of the Wednesday colors, and then she said, oh, can I have this? And then I said, well, yeah, I guess so, you know. And so I made her like the beads, and it kind of matches the colors, like, you know, the colors of Wednesday are like purple and white and black, like in general. And so those are like the colored beads that I used, and then the tassel, sorry, I live right by a road. You're going to hear all kinds of traffic and ambulances and apparently planes going by, because there's an airport near here too. Not like, you know, right near here, but, you know, there have been a couple planes in my videos too. But so there's like, you know, the purple and black and the white and everything. And so she has this on her shelf, and she got to use it when she was reading the novelization of Wednesday, which I got her too. And I think that might be all. Or I did make this one, but this is out of that blue from Joanne, but the tassel on it, this is just like where I was testing out what the tassel is going to look like on the 10th Kingdom bookmarks. So I might, like, you know, snip this off, or I might just add this to my scraps. I'm going to do something fun with my scraps of yarn, like all the little pieces that are left over and everything. And it's just like this funny story or whatever, but it seems like it's going to be it for another, or it seems like it would fit better in another video, because this is like going to be way longer anyway. And then also the whole 10th Kingdom bookmarks thing, these are the threads that I bought for the clay colored bookmark, and or like the, you know, the cross stitching thread or embroidery floss for the tassel. And so those are the ones I'm going to use for the tassel. That's in this box too. But these are the 10th Kingdom bookmarks. It's a whole story. It feels like it's a whole nother video. But I made like the tassel looks really messed up. But every single piece of the tassel has some kind of meaning, or like I've attached some kind of meaning to the whole 10th Kingdom thing. The book is under all this stuff. The 10th Kingdom. It started off as a mini series, but they made a book out of it and everything. And so I made a whole bunch of 10th Kingdom bookmarks and everything. And I'm not going to sell. I can't sell these because I don't own the rights to the 10th Kingdom or whatever. I made these to give to the fans. You know, like one fan wanted one. But it was fun to make, and it got me back into making bookmarks and everything. And it was fun to, like, you know, celebrate the 25th anniversary and making all these bookmarks and stuff, even if, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of interest out there for them, even though they were free. Which kind of I kind of lucked out with that, because I didn't realize how expensive it would be to ship these. Like if you use Ground Advantage, like it was the package was literally 1 ounce, and yet they were I was having to pay it for it as a package, and it was like $5 and something for just to ship a bookmark. So if you buy one of my bookmarks in the future, just know that, like, I don't want to like price the shipping at like $5 or something, but like that's what it's going to cost, because I guess they use like the machines now, like the automated machines, to feed the I'm gonna say yarn, feed the mail into it and stuff, and because it has to be hand sorted or whatever, you have to ship it as a parcel instead of it being like an envelope. I thought I could just put a stamp on it, but they were, you know, charging $5 and something to ship a bookmark, and it was like 1 ounce. And so I hate that, like, the shipping's gonna cost a lot, but you know, whatever. Luckily, only one person wanted these 10th Kingdom, one of these 10th Kingdom bookmarks. So I'm kind of stuck with, like, you know, 49 other ones. Or no, I sent one to my friend who loves the 10th Kingdom, and I'm keeping a couple for myself. But I'm stuck with a whole bunch of other ones. But I may like repurpose these as something in the future that I could sell, just not, you know, attach it to the 10th Kingdom or whatever, or like make it some kind of generic fairy tale sort of thing. But it has like the Bluebell yarn, because there's a character into the 10th Kingdom called Bluebell, and it has, like, you know, magic mirror, and just like each one of these pieces of the tassel has some kind of meaning to that. And then I even made these sort of a surprise. I might as well just say it, because, you know, nobody wanted the bookmarks anyway. It was announced that hang on, it's 19 minutes. It was announced that there's going to be a sequel book to the 10th Kingdom, and it's called Big Bad Wolf. And I thought, like, when that was announced, I thought maybe I can make like these little tiny ones to like represent the 25th anniversary, and then the anniversary of the day that it was announced that there's going to be a sequel book. And so I'd already made these, and I thought maybe I can take a little bit of yarn and make these, and it has like a little wolf charm on it and stuff. And so I made these to, like, you know, slip into the package for the tons of people that were going to ask for them, and they never did. But so I made these as like a little added thing to give to the 10th Kingdom fans, but they just weren't really interested, but whatever. But I did make these, so I made like 50 of these too, like these little tiny ones, because like the number of stitches and all that kind of stuff represent the anniversary and all that, and the number of stitches and rows in this too, it has to do with the 10th Kingdom. But this just feels like a whole separate video on my website network, probably, because I have like all kinds of collectibles and stuff, and the 10th Kingdom is just one of my many collections. I have many collections too, but that's just a whole other video. So that might be all the bookmark stuff. Let me see. Okay, while I'm putting all this stuff away, I reached down in that thing to start to put these bookmarks back in there, and this is one of those like mug cozy things that you know, wraps around a mug, and then the little loops hook onto the handle of the mug. I did make one of these, so this is sort of a thing that I made, and I thought to mention that now because I did make one for the 10th Kingdom, and just like this funny, because I'm a huge fan of the 10th Kingdom, and so there's on it. Okay, there's a T, and see, this is like the probably as close to amigurumi as I'm probably ever gonna get. I'm just not one to like follow detailed patterns. I just kind of made this up as I went along, and I made like the base of it, like the blue, and then I had like some, you know, scrap yarn, or like some of those little makers, or like some of those just from Dollar Tree, and I made like a bunch of little things to attach to it. And so like this is probably this was just like a fun thing. I didn't have a pattern, and I just kind of made it up as I went along. And so I attached a T and then a 10 for, because the abbreviation for the 10th kingdom, people always say like T10K, you know, the 10th kingdom, and then a K over here. Up here, and then there the little things I put on there. I put an apple because it has to do with fairy tales, and then there's a this is supposed to represent. There's this little singing ring in the 10th kingdom. That's what's supposed to, and the little pearl, this bead is supposed to represent the little thing that sings, and then this is supposed to represent the magic mirror, and then like right here is in the magic mirror, there's this little thing that, you know, turns it on where you can like go through the mirror, and so I made a little mirror thing, and then this is like one of those shepherdess crooks, is that what they're called? Or hooks, whatever the heck it is. And so this is supposed to represent that. And then there's this funny scene with like mushrooms that I was saying in the swamp, and so I made one of those, and so like I made this for like the whole 10th kingdom thing. But that's just like one of the random things that I made. But let me see what else. See, I was gonna have all kinds of I had it all broken down into categories and stuff, and but this video is just all over the place. I think that idea just flew out the window when I blew in my snail whistles at. But so that idea is out. It's because I'm just like all over the place. Speaking of the whole like Wednesday thing, this is another thing I made my niece. And it's like a W for Wednesday, and it's I put it on her shelf. It's one of those things where you because of crap. Oh no, I can edit it in. I'm thinking, God, I have to go up and go in there and get another thing. I wanted to make a candy cane for my Christmas tree, and I had seen somebody do it on YouTube, and another video coming in the future is where I credit all the people that taught me how to crochet and all the tutorials that I use and everything for all this stuff. Or the stuff that I use a tutorial for. And somebody made it was a candy cane, and so I wanted to make one for my Christmas tree. And so what you do is you basically just like make one row of single crochet, and you do two single crochets in each stitch, and it creates like this curl effect. And then you make another one, and then you twist them together, and you put a piece of wire, or I used pipe cleaners, and put like wrap it or like put that through there and like wrap it around each other, and then through the pipe cleaner, or I mean around the pipe cleaner, and you can kind of like form it into things. And so like I made my niece a W. It has like purple and black yarn to kind of like, you know, be displayed on her Wednesday shelf. And then I have a big Olive Lucy collection, which is another one of my interests, which I'll talk about on my website network, and if I can even find that freaking thing. I made a heart because I have a big Olive Lucy collection. I mean, it's not like I have a big wall upstairs of Olive Lucy collectibles. I do, but I have a little tree, and I have like all my little hang on, have my how like, you know, 4 things come out at once, and I end up making up words. I have all of my little Olive Lucy ornaments on it, and it's like this little pink tree, and so I thought, like, doing that same kind of thing, where I make twist things together and put them around a pipe cleaner, and kind of form it into a heart to put on my little tree. And so this is the one I made. I used that red metallic yarn, and so I made a heart to go on my Olive Lucy tree. So I did that, and then I did the candy cane for my Christmas tree, which is still up. It's a whole other video. I just love Christmas, and we have our Christmas tree up all year, And so, and then I did make one that was kind of like, it's in my scraps now, I think. I made it out of like orange and black, and I sort of have like this Halloween candy cane for some reason. But it was just because I didn't know if it would turn out right, and I didn't want to use my nice glittery metallic yarns for that yet, and I wanted to make sure that it would actually work and would, you know, create the twist effect that you can, you know, wrap it around itself or each other. And it did, and so I made the actual candy cane, but I do have like one of my scraps. I have a big plan to do something kind of fun with my scraps, but that's another video. So I did the heart, and let me see what else. Oh, I do, when I was talking about the moldable plastic, I made the little apple. I've also made some other little charms. I haven't finished them yet. With the moldable plastic, I like to paint them, and I like the things that I make out of moldable plastic. I paint, and then I put glue on the outside and with glitter and all that kind of stuff. And I do have some charms that are already made, but I don't want to show them on camera because I don't want to give away something kind of like that I don't want to give away a surprise for something. And so but because I don't know who's going to see this, and so I do have some little charms, but I haven't finished them yet. But one of the things, the bookmarks where I make my own charms, they might cost a little bit more because you know, it takes time to and the moldable plastic is expensive, but I love it. But it's going to take time to like make the little charms and stuff. So those are going to cost a little bit more than like the regular bookmarks if I you know, if you know, buy some of my stuff in the future. But I do have some of those little charms. I'd love to show them in the video, but I can't show them yet. So I do have that, but. Okay, I'll talk about the cuffs. I've already talked about the cuffs in one of my other videos, but I'll kind of briefly talk about it. I did find out that, because I went back in my old I actually prepared for this, can you believe it? I went back in some of my old videos, and when I made this black cuff, it was 4 strands. It was 2 black and then a dark gray and a light gray. And of course, this has like the 6 strands, and there's the whole story. I've already told it in another video. And so this is the same kind of thing. And this is the one that I made first, where it was like a little too big, and so I didn't even weave in the ends with this. So I do have, this is like leftover from the scraps. And then my mom has one too. And then so, and then when I started making these cuffs or whatever, my niece wanted some, and so I made her one that is like, it uses glitter yarns. I think it's like a teal and a pink or something, or I'll edit that in here. And then I did make her one of the, I actually made her 2 of these. I can't remember. This might be the extra one that's a little too big, but this is one I made. And I did make her one that was based on one of those bookmarks. She loved that one that had like the pastel colors in it. So I made her. She said, well, "Can you turn this into a cuff?" And so then I'd already made it into a bookmark. And so I thought maybe I could actually take that same yarn and make her a cuff. And so I made her a cuff out of that same kind of yarn. It actually turned out better as a cuff than a bookmark, in my opinion. I'm just not that crazy about pastel colors, but it actually turned out to be a really pretty cuff. But she has that at her house. And then she has one of these too. I think this is the one that's a little bit too big. But with the cuffs for her, she doesn't want me to weave in the end. She loves like the little, you know, the fringe hanging off of it. So a lot of the stuff that I've made for her, like she doesn't want me to weave in the ends because she loves like things like this or whatever. And so this is like one that I've made 2 of. But I think she has the one that fits her better out of her house. And I thought I'll keep this bigger one because like what was hard. I've since learned how to do the foundation single crochet, which helps with when you're making things where you need a very specific width. And so like that's why I have like an extra big one like this, because I make the chain, but then once you don't know until you've reached the end of the first row of single crochet whether it's gonna be the right size. And so I don't like the foundation single crochet, but I learned it to make things where I need to plan as I go along. And so like I need to know at the end of the very first row of single crochet if it's like the right width. And so it's really a good idea to learn that for specific things like that. But because I've made mistakes like that before where I make something and then it ends up being too big or too small because I started with the chain first and measured with the chain, and I didn't do it with the very first row yet. And so this is like a little bit longer than the, or a little bit wider than the other. She could probably fit it now, but so this is like waiting for her in case she you know, grows out of the other one and then she wants this one. And so I think that might be all the cuffs. This is sort of a thing that I'll talk about. This one's a surprise for somebody. Or she's not going to see it because she doesn't watch me on YouTube or anything. But when I was thinking about all these cuffs and everything, I was thinking, I wonder if there's like an easier way, because like I can make them like this where they're attached, but you know, I need to worry about like how wide or thin somebody's wrist is, or I could do the whole thing with the Velcro. When I went to Hobby Lobby the other day for the, you know, one of the times I was like looking for discount yarn, they had put out a whole bunch of packs of Velcro, and I bought those, and they were like 50 cents a pack or whatever. And so I'm going to use those to make the cuffs. But I thought if I didn't want to do that, like hot glue the Velcro to it, because I don't know if people are going to like that. You know, buy something crocheted and then have like something attached to it, like, you know, Velcro. I mean, it's not rough or anything, but it's just I don't know. I think they would probably rather just have it be crocheted, but I don't know. But I'm still going to do that with the Velcro. But I thought, I wonder if I could buy like some slap bracelets and crochet around them. This one is the first one I made. I made it. This is another reason why I wanted to learn the foundation single crochet, because I did it. This is the see how it's like too long over here. It's like, this is how wide the slap, I mean how long the slap bracelet is, and so I gave this to my niece. She loves it. But I needed to learn the foundation single crochet to make sure that it's when I need something a very specific length, that it really matters, then I need to you know how to do that. And so I made a better one. But it's just like a slap bracelet. So I just thought that would be like a really cool thing to make and sell. And so that I can, because I love these cuffs and everything, but I want to make sure that if somebody buys my cuffs or whatever, that, you know, they're going to be like the right size. I hate for somebody to buy one of these and then not be the right size. So I don't think I'll sell them where they're attached like this, even though it's a lot better. I'll probably do them with the Velcro, and then I will do some that are slap bracelets. I bought a big pack. It's on Amazon. They have these slap bracelets that you can like color on or something, I guess, for like a party or whatever. And so I bought those, and I crocheted around it. And so like this is just like a little bit too loose, but it's just like one that my niece can have. This one is a little bit better, and this is for like a surprise for somebody, but you know, she's not going to watch my video. But I made this one. It's like a thing to put in. That's what I'll say. My friend has a daughter, and so like I'm afraid, like when I send my friend a package, her daughter's gonna, if she's anything like my niece, she's gonna be looking at the package and think, is there anything in there for me? And so I don't know if she would, but I just felt like if I send my friend another package, I want there to be like something in there for her daughter. And so I made a slap bracelet. This one's a lot better, like the perfect size and everything, and it you know, it looks really nice, and so she's gonna love the little slap bracelet. It's just like a little something to put in there for my best friend's daughter. And so I think that might be all the cuff stuff. I don't know. I have no idea. And let me see. Oh, I did forget to say, like when my niece wanted me to turn that clay bookmark into a cuff, she's the one that actually said, because like when I was trying to figure out like how to attach these better than just like weaving them in, I was thinking like, can I get some kind of clasp or like what? And my niece said, maybe you could just use Velcro. And like, of course it's a good idea. I love the idea, and it actually does turn out right. And it's not like I was afraid that it would be rough or whatever, but it's a perfect kind of thing if you don't mind there being a piece of Velcro attached to it with hot glue. But you know, I was just like, sometimes I need her to suggest things or whatever, because like my brain, I overcomplicate every little thing. And there have been many times in my life, not just with my niece, but like for every little project that I do, every big project, where I overcomplicate everything, and because my thoughts are just racing, and I have all, and it always, sometimes it's easier to talk to other people about my projects, because then they can say, well, why don't you just do this? And it's like, oh well, I didn't think of that, because I was thinking, well, maybe I can like buy this and like make this part and like put this when it's just like, oh, just get some Velcro. It's like sometimes I need that kind of like realness from other people when because I'm sort of I stay to myself when I'm like thinking through things, and I enjoy my solitude, especially when I'm like creating things or like thinking of ideas and working on stories and stuff. And I'm a very collaborative person. That's just not me. But sometimes it really helps, because it helps for somebody to come up with a more simplified solution than instead of the one that I overcomplicate with my ridiculous brain. But she's the one that came up with the whole Velcro thing. But and another thing, since I'm jumping all around, before I thought to make this, I wanted to make a little heart out of crochet, and I'm still not completely happy with it. It's not a perfect heart, but the first one I made was this one, and of course they're like really small and everything, but I made this little heart, and then I made one for my niece, and she has it. I think she has it at her house, and then unless it's lost in her playroom somewhere and all her stuff. And then there's a purple one that I made for my mom. She actually wore it on her shirt. She was like really proud of it. It was like this little heart that I made, like a little tiny thing. My mom just loves all the stuff I crochet too. And then I made this red one to put with my Lucy stuff. It has like the red sparkling on it. But I like this heart a little better than this. Looks a lot better on my tree than like this little thing. This doesn't. I didn't even turn this into an ornament yet, but I do need to turn this into an ornament for my Lucy tree. And I'll show my Lucy tree and my collectibles on my website if you're ever interested in that. But I think that is all the little hearts that I made. Anyway. And then I did learn how to do scrunchies. Some of these, they just sort of feel like they're not even worth selling. I might like throw them in as little special gifts, you know, for people that buy my stuff if you want them. I have one for my mom. She loves that scrunchie. She wears it all the time, wherever it is. I thought I saw it fall somewhere. Or no, here it is. I made this out of that green from I forget the name from. God, I'm like Juanito from Sorted Lives. I forget. See, I make TV and movie. I have for every single thing that you say or I say or any kind of just throw a word out there. I'll probably have a TV or movie reference for it, to the point of it being ridiculous. Just more evidence of how ridiculous of a person I am. Not just ridiculously creative, but like a ridiculous person. But anyway, it's like the Joanne, the big twist yarn, the green. It has some of my mom's hair in it because you know, she wears it all the time. But this is the scrunchie that I made for her, and so I just use like that kind of yarn, and so it's not like really like this one that I made with that Bernat blanket. These, like, I love the curl in these when you make it with that thick yarn. But this was just like, you know, one I made for my mom, like a little tiny one. And so I do have a bag of scrunchies and everything. So just like generic scrunchies. Some of them are better than others, and some of them like with just regular yarn, and then some of them with like the chenille yarn, and which turn out. They turn out a lot better than the ones with just like regular yarn, but not that there's anything wrong with those regular ones. But and I feel like some of these were, I just feel like I might have missed a couple stitches, or like I didn't put 3 triple crochets in each one. I might have like put 2 in one, or actually put 4 in one. That's why they're not really like the curl or the wave in it isn't very consistent, and so that's why I don't feel like I probably shouldn't sell these, you know. Who was that? Passionate Kelsey. I'm so jealous of her. It's like, it feels like her hands move as fast as my brain moves. I wish I could take my brain and, you know, funnel that energy and all of that, just all that, into my hands. I'd be a lot more productive. But you know, when I watch her hands, I'm thinking that's exactly how my brain works, except, you know, even more like scattered and all over the place, not, you know, really nice and even like her hands are. God, it's just amazing to watch her work and in her videos. But and she has more yarn than I. So people that look at, like, one of the videos that she just posted the other day was her moving into her house and her having like all of her yarn everywhere. And I was thinking, like, thank God I have that to look at, because like I don't feel so bad about all the yarn that I've collected over the years. It's been a year. All the yarn, it looks like, oh my God, look how much yarn I have. And then I saw her video and I was like, oh well, I guess it's not too bad. But whatever. And so I do have like a lot of I've done a lot of scrunchies. Some are like way better than other ones, but it is fun making scrunchies, and I will make more of those. But like, it's like something like this, like with really thin yarn. Like, I don't know if it's worth selling. It just sort of feels like if I set up at craft shows or something, it would be something like where, you know, if you buy a bookmark, then you get a free scrunchie in the bag, or like, you know, it feels like that, where they're just not, you know, up to like the quality that I would expect from myself to sell. But I don't know. I mean, they're perfectly pretty, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Like, compared to, you know, Passionate Kelsey's, like her, like perfectly. But you know what I'm saying? Like, this one's really pretty and all curly and wavy and stuff. And I got better at it as I went along. But some of them are just like a little, you know, this one's like, this is a yarn issue. This isn't my issue. And some of them, like, they look a little thinner because I use that chenille yarn from Dollar Tree. Yeah, I think it's Premier. But it's really nice. What is it? Yeah. It's Premier yarn. But these are nice. But I did get into scrunchies, and I'm still, you know, making scrunchies every once in a while. But I like, this is really pretty with the sparkle on it and everything. But so those are the scrunchies. I think that's all of them. I just did those to try to do as many creative crochet things as I could. And so I thought I could do some scrunchies. Hang on. And another thing I did was I made these keychains, and because I went to Goodwill and they had these boxes. I wish I could have gotten more, or I mean, I wish I could have, or I wish I would have gotten more. But I didn't really know what to do with them at the time. There are these blank keychains. They're like these squares, and then you can put pictures in them. It has like the little thing that clicks in it. You can put like a picture on either, like a double-sided picture or whatever in it, and then you can click the little thing over it, and it's like just like those basic keychains. And they had like just boxes and boxes of them, and I got like one of them because I thought it was only a couple $, and I thought like I might, you know, do something kind of creative with it. Oh god, the initial idea. God, imagine. I know it's frustrating and everything, and you're probably thinking, breathe, you know, typing. Or no, you can tell how even my typing move is shows how old I am. People are, you know, typing like this, but I'm like, you know, typing like this, like I'm on a typewriter. The see, and then I lose my train of thought. It's like it's gone, and then I have to, like, you know, try to find it. Let me just keep talking. I wanted to the initial. Finally, the initial idea was to make a like a little piece of art to put in it that says something about, like, you know, supporting independent artists and stuff, because there's like this sort of art store downtown in my town, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to like make them and like either sell them or just like give them away, and like to say something on it generic like I support independent artists or something like that. And that was like the initial idea, but I never really followed through with that because I didn't even know if like the store would even want me to say, hey, can you like give these away, because it would like, seem kind of ridiculous and stuff, and I just didn't have the confidence to do it. And so so I thought I would look ridiculous, and so then I had those things, and when I learned how to crochet, and I was thinking about like crocheting around something, or like, you know, what can I make to sell, because I thought I could start making stuff to sell. I thought maybe I can make like a little crochet panel and like sew it around those keychains and make like keychains, just like basic you know, flat keychains. And so I made a pride one. This one's on my keychain right now. And so it has like the traditional pride flag, and of course I put a little tassel on it with the beads and stuff, because I thought it would kind of like, you know, mimic the tassels I like to make for my bookmarks. And but the first one, it's not as good because I didn't bring the piece of embroidery floss or, you know, cross-stitch thread through the little loop at the top, and so it kind of like hangs to the side. It doesn't really hang right down the middle like the other one that's more perfect. This I just used that Mexicana, I think, and so it's nice and everything, but it's not. This is just like a sort of a scrap in my head. There's one I'm not going to sell, but I am going to make these, and I'm going to make them with all the pride flags. If you're interested, or like as many as I could come up, or as many as I could do. There's, you know, more pride flags in our community than, you know, probably flags for the countries in the world. And so I did make one, wherever it is. There's somebody that I came, or like somebody I don't even know her name, that I came across. It doesn't sound like the right thing to say. Somebody that like I interacted with once or twice, and that they said that they were ace, and so I made one of these, and I had it. I keep it with me just in case I ever interact with her again, or like what's the right word? Not come across. In case I ever or hang on, like that. In case I ever meet up with her again or something, just happen to, you know, like run into her, in case I run into her. And so I made this just to give to her, but like, and this, you know, it's really nice. It's like the ace flag, and so but I'm gonna make one of each of the flags, that as many as I can do with the yarns that I have, because I know there's a lot of flags, but I did make my traditional one, and then I have this one to give to her, but I will make the other ones too. But so I made those, and it's a good use up for those keychains. I could make something to put. There's enough of those keychains in that box to put, like, you know, something in it, like a little piece of cardboard, or, you know, a piece of art or something. But I love this idea better, like utilizing the keychains to make these with the crochet. But let me see if there's anything else. And of course my logo tapestry, which I already talked about in another video. I'm not going to pull it down because it'll, you know, it's in that drawer right here. But I already talked about that, and it was the first time I'd ever done tapestry crochet, and or like the Wizard of Oz bookmark was that. And it's weird. I guess I'm just like, the way I do art and stuff, I kind of want to take ownership of anything that I do, and so for some reason I didn't want to like try somebody else's pattern. I wanted to try to do it myself and do one of my own things, and so that's why I came up with the bookmark first, and then I made my tapestry out of my logo and stuff. So I've never really done any tapestry crochet that somebody else designed, and I sort of feel bad about that, but I just kind of like, I wanted to try to make it my own, and so that's why I did my logo first, and so I made that. And then the whole hats, all the hats that I've made, which I've talked about, like the black hat that I have that has the sparkle yarn, and which people are saying that I actually look good in hats. Whatever. That's probably all the compliments that I got for my hats and stuff, and saying that, you know, I actually look good in a hat. I think that's just like more reflective of like the fact that it's probably more evidence that I need a better camera, because obviously they're really low quality. If people are looking at this and thinking, oh, he looks really good in a hat, okay, whatever you say. And so I did make the black one first because I love black and, you know, glittery things, and then I did make that one that I already showed, that is with the inclusivity, wherever that is. You know, this one that has the inclusivity, and already showed that one in another video. It has like the inclusivity from Big Twist, and then it has like the black around the edge of it. And I hate that I'm like, I don't mean to say like, oh, it's in another video, because I know that some people may come across this and it might be the first video that they watch, but I know that this video is going to be way longer than I want it to be, and so there are things that I've already showed in one of my other videos, and so just go back, give me another click. No, that's not why I'm doing it. I'm just saying there's so much stuff to get to, and I don't want to have to repeat myself, where it feels like I repeated myself, even though you may be watching me for the first time in this video. Sorry about that. And so there, that hat, and I think that's all about the hats. Let me go through these cowls. This is another thing where I've already shown it in another video. These cowls that I made. This was out of yarn, that Huga or whatever. So I have 2 of those, and I'll sell these because I want to make a black one for myself. I did buy that Huga, but I haven't made the black one for myself. So these are like just, you know, random cowls. It kind of reminds you of those. I made them to be cowls, but it's the same kind of thing where people make the headbands, but they're just a little bit looser, so that it'll go like around your neck down here, because I love the look of a cowl. And so better than a hat, and so I have 2 of those, and then I did make like this really big one that is I don't know how successful this was, but it was just like the first time I ever made a cowl. So it's like extra loose, and like one of these is kind of like that if you're into like one that's, you know, kind of looser and stuff. So I did make that one. And then I did make I haven't weaved in the ends of this yet, even though I made this, you know, like months ago. But I made a pride one, and I wanted to make it long enough to double it up, and so I ended up making it a little bit too short. So I had to add a black panel to the back, and so I did make one that is the pride colors, and so I'm really proud of this. I actually crocheted in my original time on YouTube. In one of my videos, it was like one of my, like, you know, crochet with me kind of videos, and so I was working on that in one of my videos. But so you can kind of like, I don't know if I did it right, I can't really see, but you can kind of double it up, and so I love the look of that too, like a doubled up cowl, and so I'm really proud of this thing. I'm not going to sell this, of course, this is for me, but so this is a really nice one, but I still need to weave in all those ends. I said in the last time I was on YouTube that I love weaving in the ends, and it is really fun when you get to, like, you know, pull it and then the end disappears. But at the same time, like when you have to weave in, like, you know, 50 of them, it's kind of you know, a pain in the butt. So anyway, Let's see what else. Oh, I did make this hat, and of course I showed it in my other video that that from my glow throw. Oh, the blankets too. God, I have like 45 minutes but before I have to get somewhere. I don't even know if I'm going to get through everything in this video, and it's like I don't think I can film any this weekend. So I'm going to try to get through this. But there's this hat too with the EG stitch I made. There's that one, which I haven't even talked about. On. Yeah, since I'm talking about the cowls, I did make my mom a scarf. This is using that Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo Stripes, the favorite stripe. I love that yarn. The colors on that are so vibrant and pretty, and I mixed it with black, and it's just this really nice scarf. I think I cranked this out in like overnight one night or whatever, because it was going to be cold the next day, and I just made her this really nice scarf, and it has like all the colors of that beautiful yarn, and with the black, and I love the look of like really vibrant yarn mixed with black, because it almost makes the colors stand out more when there's all the black to create that shadow effect. Just really pretty. I love this scarf, and she loved it too. She wore it every day when it was really cold, and so I made her that scarf. And oh, and I did make myself this cowl. Oh, where's that other one, that furry one? I did make that. This one was out of just regular black chunky yarn, and so it turned out nice. It wasn't that I was trying to. I didn't have any more of that hygge, or I didn't have any of that black hygge, and so I wanted to make a cowl for myself, and it's really nice. It's just made out of like regular chunky yarn. It just doesn't match that other one that I liked, where it's a little bit furrier. But it's a nice cowl. But it's just a solid black one. And where's that other one? Okay, and then this is one that I was talking about, that that skein of yarn that I got from Hobby Lobby, that was a clearance skein, that was like that really fuzzy, furry yarn. This is one of my, it's the same brand, it's just like the mix that has black with a little bit of gray in it. The other one I got from the clearance was just a solid black. But see, look, this looks like this is like 20 years old, like it's been in storage and like a mouse got to it or something. Like it's so furry and just like pieces coming off, and it's nice. It fits and everything, but like, see what I'm saying? Like, it was just frustrating, because I thought like I made this, and then it was just like sitting over there, and then when I looked at it, I thought, what? Why is it like this? I mean, it's so hairy and just like almost sheddy, and like I don't know. I'm determined to try to make that skein of yarn work for something, but so it doesn't look like this, where I mean it almost looks like it has a halo of hair on it or something. It looks like I have like dogs and stuff. Like I live in a house with 20 dogs and cats and stuff running around. Like it's cat and dog hair. It's not. It's like shedding or something. I don't. It's just an odd yarn. So I did make that one. That I don't know what I'll do with. And I did make this scarf. This is one I made out of my EG stitch, which I still haven't even mentioned in this video. But this is made out of a skein from Hobby Lobby, and so I did make a scarf. This feels like this is where I started on the throw blanket, which I still didn't get to. And I don't think I made it wide enough, or I made it too wide. But I didn't want to pull all this out, and so I thought maybe I can make it sort of a thinner scarf or something, and so that's what I did. And then I added some fringe on the edge, and so I can sell this as like a thin scarf, like maybe for a young kid or like a teenager or something, because it doesn't feel, or like a decorative kind of scarf for somebody that doesn't want to actually sweat in the heat or something, and they want to wear like a fabulous scarf. But I don't know, it's thinner, and thinner like this way, and probably not as long as it should be, but I didn't want to waste that yarn, and so I made this into a scarf. That'll be something I'll sell. And so if you want to buy it, you can buy it for like a kid or a teenager, or if you just want like a thin scarf. And then this is one that I made. This is the one I made with the modified moss stitch that I came up with, or that I feel like I came up with it. And this is one of those made from one of those skeins of Michael's yarn that I got. There was $3 piece because it was clearanced, and so I added some fringe and stuff. I made this like just one day when I had to watch my niece and stuff and wanted something to do, so I just made this scarf, and so this will I'll probably sell if they had like or they do have a black in this. It's just not clearance, and so I'm like, every time I like, you know, talk about it being a thrifty crafter, every time I drive by Michael's, and I'm thinking, well, I would stop there, but you haven't sent me another voucher yet. I got that there. I got a person. Cheat. You could tell I'm getting old. So, and I think that's like all the scarves and the hats and all that kind of stuff. I did make some hand warmers. These are like a little bit too thick, but because like when I get or I need to take these off, but when I it's bad enough that I have OCD and I compulsively wash my hands all the time, but like in the winter, I have my dad's hands. My dad had horrible skin, and my skin's just the same, and I get a lot of dry skin, especially in the winter time, and they get dry and cracked. I wanted to make some hand warmers. I made them a little too tall because I wanted to like block how, you know, bad my hands look so much in the cold weather. I use that stuff, but when you have OCD and you wash your hands all the time, you might as well not even buy that expensive cream, because then you're just like washing it off every couple minutes, or not every couple minutes, but you know, I'm not like, you know, I don't wash my hands to the point of it being like, you know, it makes sense in my head, but you know what I'm saying. I compulsively wash my hands. I wash my hands probably 10 times more than most people do in every day. And so if I'm like buying all these creams and stuff to keep my hands looking nice, I end up washing them off anyway, and I'd rather spend that money on yarn. No, I do use lotion and stuff, but it doesn't work if you have to wash your hands you know, 20 times in an hour or something, or it's not that, sometimes it's not that much, but you know what I'm saying. So I made these like it's just like the easy way to do a fingerless glove. Did I say hand warmer? I meant fingerless glove. It's just like a wide panel, and then you bring it up here and you sew it to this point, and then you leave the hole for the finger or your thumb, and then you like sew the rest of it. It's like a really basic kind of fingerless glove. And so I made another one too. So I did make that for myself, but I doubled up the yarn, and it's a little too thick too. It comes up too far up here, because I was trying to cover up how awful my hands look. So it comes up too far, and then it's like a little too thick just because of me doubling up the yarn. I shouldn't have doubled it up. But so just make that. Oh, I did. This is that thing that I made, that circular thing, almost like a doily or whatever, out of the rest of that inclusivity. See how it's just like scattered all over the place just because of how, you know, messed up the color changes are. So I mean, it's fine. It's just, I don't know, I just don't like how scattered it looks. It just looks like I just started out in that, look, I know how to change colors, and then somebody has to say, oh, that's really nice, but really they think that it looks hideous because of how the color changes are so all over the place. And so it just looks like I'm messed up, but I wanted to use up that inclusivity, and so I went ahead and made this out of that. And then because, you know, color-wise, it's not, you know, what I would prefer, but like because it was successful, I wanted to make another one. So I made one that for my niece. It was purple and pink. It has like, you know, light pink and pink sparkle. And so this is the one I made. And what was funny, like I do love I Love Lucy, and I've shown her that episode with the pizza where she's like throwing it up and she's like banging it on the vent, and like I love that. And she's like, you know, and he's like, where's that pizza? And then she's like, you know, throwing whatever, and so she's like flipping it around. And so when I gave this to my niece, like the first thing that she did was she was thinking, oh, I'm like Lucy with the pizza, and she was like, you know, twirling it around her hand as if it was pizza. And so like it's supposed to be like this really pretty doily, and she's, you know, imagining she's like, you know, flipping pizza around like Lucy. But I did make her this one, and then her original favorite color was always pink, and but then she went through this phase where she's like, she was loving blue, and so she wanted to like have a blue one too, and or maybe she just wanted another one, but because of how she wants everything that I make. But so I did make her a blue one. She's sort of getting into like back into pink, but so she wanted me to make her a blue one. So I made her a blue one with like a light blue and dark blue. This doesn't have any sparkle in it or anything. It's just like the basic colors and stuff. So these I made for her. And so I made those, and then when I was, I made that working into our, I made that magic ring out to be way more complicated than it actually was, and so when I was like first testing it out, I made just a little circle like this, and I thought I can I'm gonna make coasters and stuff. Although if I make them out, although I do have some cotton now, but at the time I was thinking I only have acrylic yarn, and I know you can't really. They don't suggest you use them as coasters because if they get wet, it can kind of like ruin the yarn. If it's cotton, you can just wash the yarn, but if it's acrylic, then it can kind of ruin it. So I got these plastic discs to put on top of the acrylic coasters that I make. But they're not gonna be like solid ones. I'm gonna use like pretty colors and stuff. Let me see what else. And then, of course, I did make that throw blanket that I already showed in another video. I need to add the macaw to the edge. The one for my niece. This uses Red Heart Super Saver favorite stripe, and I use the modified moss stitch, which I call the dash moss, just because it's like a sort of an extended version of the moss stitch, because the holes look like little dashes, and because they're like a little bit wider than the regular moss stitch. So I did make that, that throw blanket. And of course, it was just supposed to be a random throw blanket. But then when my niece saw it, she said, "Oh, what are you gonna do with that blanket?" And I knew that she wanted it, so that it sort of just became her throw blanket. And see, I was gonna like talk about everything that I made for her sort of separately, but I practically made everything for her anyway. It's not an exaggeration to say that I probably made more for my niece than I made for like even myself or anybody else. But I just love that little thing, little girl. I was about to say another cuss word. See, when I get too comfortable in these videos, I'm getting more comfortable talking in the videos, but it's just gonna, cuss words are gonna start coming out because I have to kind of control it, because I don't want the algorithm to turn on me. I'm like right at 496 subscribers, and that's all I need to do is like get to 499, and then they tank my videos because I use the F word in something or whatever. And then this is the pillow that I showed in another video using the same yarn, and or the pillowcase. And then but I had to add the macaw because it wasn't long enough, and so that's why I'm going to use the macaw colorway for the edge of that blanket, just to add some width to it, because it's just like slightly longer than it is wide. And so that's the pillow, of course. And then I did show this this cuff in the other video from the other day, the one that uses a thinner yarn that I made exactly like this. So you can watch my other video if you want to know how I made that. And then I have inspired my mom to get back into crochet, and when I got her a bag, just like a plain one of these little plain cloth bags. I wanted to make it kind of special for her, so I made just like these like wide panels of crochet, and then I sewed them to the handles, and just to like make her bag a little something extra special. And so I did that. I just crocheted these panels on there, and then and sewed, like wrapped it around there, and then like sewed up the edges, and I did take the time to like sew with the needle through the thing itself, because the strap itself, because I was afraid that like it would pull and it would kind of get all messed up or whatever. So occasionally I would go through and like actually take the yarn and push it through the strap itself so that it wouldn't move. And so I did make her that add that little special touch to her bag, because she's getting back into crochet. And speaking of her, I made her this, and it's basically, all it is like a really loose, really small throw blanket. But I wanted to, a TV movie reference. She loves Andy Griffith, and there's an episode where Aunt Bea wants that bed jacket, and that's one of the ideas that I might want to try to make. I want to try to make it up on my own, because I don't want to follow some pattern from like the 1930s or whatever, and I'm just not really into following detailed patterns. But like with the yarn that I have, there's a yarn that I bought the other day. It's going to be a part of a haul video. I might use that, or I might use that purple. I'd like to make her like a traditional bed jacket, because when she's like watching TV, she might get a little cold or whatever. And I thought I wanted to make her something that she can kind of like put over her shoulders, because like if she's like bundled up and like she's under the blankets or whatever, your shoulders can get cold. And I thought the whole idea of a bed jacket isn't as ridiculous as you would think. Like, it's supposed to keep your upper half warm while you're like under the blankets, so you're not like bundled up like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make try to make her a bed jacket, like a traditional one. But when I thought of the whole bed jacket idea, I took this yarn. This is I I think it's clearance yarn from Hobby Lobby from last year. And so I made her this. It's just like this really, really loose throw blanket, and it's like that. It's the moss stitch, but it's like extra loose. And and it's like for her to like wrap around herself while she's like, you know, in bed or whatever, and or like watching TV. And so it just kind of like, you know, goes around her shoulders and stuff, and keeps her warm up here. And so she doesn't be all bundled up and everything. So I did make her this. Was sort of like her bed jacket. And then I did, because my mom loved it so much, she told somebody that she knows about it, and that woman said, oh man, I need one of those, because I get so cold when I'm like watching TV at home and stuff, and when my mom told me that, I thought, I do have a lot of leftover yarn from that clearance from last year. I actually still have some more. And I had these like cakes from Hobby Lobby, and so I thought I could make her one. And so, because it didn't take that long to make that, maybe a couple days. And so I went ahead and used that yarn and made it as a gift for my mom to give to that woman, and she just loved it. A guy that she is off the wall as the colors were. Some guy that she lives with wanted one too. I didn't make him one or anything, but because I thought whatever. But you know, she loved it and everything, and so it was like, it's a really simple idea, just like a thin, airy kind of thing to like put over your shoulders. But I do want to make like a sort of approach it the way I'm going to approach making, or the way I approach my teddy bear sweater, and the way I want to approach making my own sweater, and sort of like make it sort of like a sweater, but except without bringing it into right here and making armholes. Just like make it like one solid thing. And so I think I could probably approach it that way, and I don't have to, you know, follow any kind of traditional pattern. Of course, a pattern will make it look like really pretty and lacy and stuff, but I just want to kind of make it in a way where it'll like go around her shoulders, and I can put buttons on it or something, and, you know, make her like a traditional bed jacket like Aunt Bea. But let me see what else. I did, I wanted to make my niece, I love the Wizard of Oz, and I got my niece loving the Wizard of Oz too. And so, like, when I'd have to watch her, especially when she was a kid, you know, she'd watch the Wizard of Oz over and over again. And so she loves the Wizard of Oz, and so and we used to buy her like the ruby slippers, you know, when her feet weren't growing so quick. And so we have multiple ruby slippers for her. But I thought, I wonder if I could make her like a crocheted set of ruby slippers. And there's this tutorial, I think it's Nastasia, however you say it, that channel. And it's basically like you just make a panel with going in the back loop only, and then you sew up the back of it, and then you like bring it around the toe, and then you sew that up to the ankle, and then you cinch the top, or like where the toes are. And it just seemed like a really simple thing. There were more complicated ones, but I thought I could try to do that and make my niece some ruby slippers, like with the red sparkle yarn, like the metallic yarn from Red Heart Super Saver, and then make like little bows. And there was a guy, Nick from Urban Farm Boys. He had made like these chicken things or something, and it had like these glow-in-the-dark beads on it. And I thought it was kind of fascinating how you can crochet with beads, where you like, you know, string the beads on the yarn beforehand, and then you can like pull from the yarn and pull the beads in as you need them. I just thought it was really fascinating. I wanted to do something where I crocheted with beads, and so I was thinking of like putting it on the little bow. I think the first thing I did with the beads was I wanted to make my niece a headband, and the first one I did, it was way too long. I did the whole like back loop only thing to like add the stretch, but I did it the wrong way, and so there's no stretch. The stretch is actually this way, like this way instead of this way, and so it's tight when you pull it. But I added some beads and stuff, like different colored beads, like these pony beads, and so she loved it, but it's too tight. It doesn't have the stretch, and so I remade it, and the stretch is the proper way. I had more beads on this one, but like, see, the stretch goes this way like it's supposed to, because I didn't look up a pattern. I just thought I can make like a little thing, and it's like, you know, seal it off on the end, and she can put it around her head. But I didn't even really think it through that much, so I did it like back and forth this way, and so like the stretch isn't this way, it's actually, you know, the proper way. And so then I put the beads on it, so I did that for her. And I think that's what the first thing I did with the beads. And then when I thought to do the whole ruby slippers thing, I didn't even realize this, but until I was like writing down all this stuff. But when I wanted to make my teddy bear a sweater and use that as like a prototype for my own sweater. Like I sort of did that before and I didn't even really remember it. But when I wanted to make my niece her ruby slippers, I didn't want to commit to like making them without making sure I could do it properly, and they were going to actually look like slippers. And so this is my niece's doll, or one of them, her baby doll, and I made little booties for her her doll. And let's see, where are they? Oh, okay. See, these are the little booties that I made for her doll, and these are adorable little things. And so, like, it turned out it was so successful that I thought, okay, I can make my niece her ruby slippers, and it has like these little teeny tiny bows on them and stuff, and they just go perfectly on her little doll, on her little doll's feet. And so like this funny little, like, I'm surprised. I surprise myself sometimes thinking about all the stuff that I've made. Like I never would have thought I would make like little booties for a baby doll, but you know, that's how weird my life is. But whatever. And so it is fun and creative. And so I made these little booties for her baby doll, and so that turned out good. And so I went ahead and made her ruby slippers. I love these. I want to make them in my size. No, I'm like an idiot. I do have ruby slippers that fit my feet too. Some that are like drag queen heels, but that's a whole nother video. I have like a ruby slipper collection, and I have all kinds of collections and stuff, but that'll be in on my website network. But these are her ruby slippers, like ruby slippers, like literal slippers. And so it has like the metallic yarn, the red metallic from Red Heart Super Saver, and then the bows I put like the little beads on it, like the pretty faceted red beads on the bows. And I'll edit in video as I'm talking. I'll edit in videos of her like wearing them and stuff. And like she was so excited about it. She was like literally running around the house with one on, because I'd only finished one. I'd finished like the main part, but I still needed to like sew the bows on and sew them all up and together and everything. But she was so excited. She was just like running around with one on until I finished the other one. And so she loves these little booties or whatever, or these you know, ruby slippers. And I do have this video of her. I did this whole like Wizard of Oz party one day, and I had this like, I made this big tornado out of brown paper, and just I make like big experiences for her and everybody, and I made this like Wizard of Oz party thing, and for weeks or months actually, that tornado was hanging up, and all the things hanging off the ceiling that were Wizard of Oz related, and so I don't even know why I said that. But she loved these little slippers and stuff, her ruby slippers, and so I made those. And then as far as like some of the other random things, I did make these the granny squares, and I already talked about it in another video, where I just feel like a lot of people don't like, and like I thought I didn't really like granny squares, but like there's nothing really wrong with the pattern of a granny square. What I think I don't like about granny squares, and what I think a lot of people don't like about granny squares, is the fact that people choose such off-the-wall random colors that don't really match each other. And so like if you choose like, you know, nice colors like this that sort of complement each other, or like just solid variegated colors or something, there's nothing really wrong with it in my head. But like if it's when people have like, you know, a brownish orange, and then the next color is like this hot green, and then the next color is white, and then the next color is like, you know, magenta, or like it looks kind of ugly to me. That's just my opinion. If you love that, then, you know, I don't mean to like crap on you or nothing. Obviously people love those granny squares, but I just never really found them very appealing, just because of the colors. And I realized that because I was I made a couple granny squares. I was trying to I didn't even talk about my stitch yet. I was trying to like make a granny square out of my own stitch, but I still haven't done that yet. But anyway, let me get throw blankets. Let's see what else. Oh, I did make a scrunchie for my niece that she has over at her house. It's a pink scrunchie, which I'll edit in, unless I edited it in already. I'm just like going through my big long list of things and crossing things out. Oh, and speaking of the cuffs, I did make a cuff for somebody that my mom knows. She likes to express herself with like dyeing her hair like really off the wall cool colors and stuff. And for Beetlejuice, that sequel, I still haven't seen that. She dyed her hair like the Beetlejuice colors, and my mom thought it was really cool. And so I thought this is when I made that bed jacket for the woman my mom knows. And so I thought I wanted to, and my mom would be seeing that other woman at the same time. And so I thought maybe I can make her a little cuff. And so I made her a cuff with the Beetlejuice colors to just to like give her something too, and so that she felt like, you know, she was getting something too. And I put the Velcro on her cuff, and gave her, she gave her that. And of course, she loved it and everything, and it matched her hair and everything. Let's see what else. I did make my niece this little bag. I had come across a tutorial where somebody was making a little bag out of this is like a blank CD, or this is like the plastic one, the plastic thing that goes on top of the pack of CDs, and you like crochet around the CD, and then this is the Big Twist yarn, that like that thinner rainbow looking yarn from Big Twist, and I made this for my niece, and I added some extra stitches around the top to make it kind of curly, and I sort of made it up as I went along, and I made a little bag. She's keeping her scrunchies in it apparently, in her playroom, but I made her that, and then I made, I did make, this isn't done yet, but and I feel like this might have been the day, or I can't remember if this is like the second year or not, or this was part of the first year or not. But I'm gonna make her. She has she has like some of those like giant water cups, or like those Stanley cups and like all that stuff. I mock people I mock people for those for months. You know, carrying around those giant cups. Like how dehydrated are you? You have to carry around like a cup that, you know, would fit a whole gallon of water in. But everybody has those big cups, and I thought, how ridiculous to spend all that money on a big cup or whatever. Because, you know, in my head I'm thinking $30, that could be like enough for yarn, like a bunch of yarn. And so that's like the gauge in my head now. Like every single thing, every price, it sort of, it flashes in my head of like, you know, how many skeins of yarn that equals. So like if, you know, I see like something at the store, it's like $20, oh, that's like, you know, 5 skeins of yarn, like whatever, no matter what it is. And so that's how, like, I have this, you know, yarn filter on my head now. But I was mocking people for months for those, you know, ridiculous cups and stuff, and they're dragging them around. And then here I am with a giant one like this I got from Michael's in their Pride stuff. So whatever. But I use it for coffee. I don't use it for water, because, like, God, I need to pee all the time. Like, do they? I don't know. I'm just going off on a rant, but like, them dragging all that water around all the time. It seems like you'd have to pee a lot, because it holds a lot. Like it could probably hold a whole pot of coffee when I make it, but because it's so big. But anyway, so I knew my niece had her Stanley cup, or one of them. She has like 4 or 5 of them. It's also a little ridiculous that, like, it's just a cup in my head, but I know it's not just a cup. I know it's like, it's a Stanley cup, whatever. And so but I know that she has those, and when she saw that whole 10th Kingdom cozy or koozie or whatever you call it, that I made for my mug, she wanted, she actually wanted one, but she hasn't really seen the 10th Kingdom, but she wanted one, and I thought I can make her one that's Wednesday related. I did make the base of it. It's like this, it's made out of that perplexed. I was trying to use up that perplexed that I got from Big Twist, and so I did make her the base of it, because she was over here. This was like the last day of summer or something, and before she went back into school. And so I wanted to like get her the measurements for that cup while she was still over here, and then I can make the little pieces to put on it. I don't know what I'm gonna make. I'm gonna make try to make the little window. The window in Wednesday's room, you know, that's half colored, because that's Enid side, and the other I know all that stuff. Have never even seen it. And then and maybe make like a little hand, and make something kind of whatever Wednesday related on the little cozy thing for her. But I do have the base. I just don't have the little things made on it yet. And then she sort of inspired an idea, because like she wanted to play with this when she was over here, and so she kind of like had it on her hand like this, and she was just like walking around like this, and the way it was kind of like laying on her hand, I thought it kind of looked like a little bag, and I thought I could probably make one of these and then just like sew up the sides, and it would turn into a little bag. And so it inspired me to make some little bags. I'm going to talk about an idea I have in the Pride video that'll be coming to do with those little bags. I'm going to make some for that too. But I made, there's this little game that I found at Dollar Tree. I forget what it's called. I think it's like left, right, center, left, right, something or other. It's a little dice game or whatever. Whatever it is, it has a dice, and
and these little chips, and so I made this like a little tiny bag. This is made out of that that scratchy yarn, but I just had a little bit, so I made like this little bag, and to keep that in, because my niece and I would play this game when she would come over to the house, and and then I made this little drawstring, which I just kind of made this up as I went along, and now that I've seen other people make drawstrings on little bags, they put one on each side, and that's what I need to do, but I didn't look up a tutorial. I just kind of like did this, except with only one loop, and then sewed up the side to make a little bag, and I thought I can just do a little drawstring there to kind of cinch up the top, but I need to put like another drawstring on the other side, and then it was so successful that I made one out of the yarn that I use for my glow throw, which I haven't even talked about, and so I made this one, and this is really pretty, and it has like I put some little beads on the drawstring over here, and so I'm gonna make a lot of little bags like this, and some of them for Pride too. It'll be a whole Pride idea, but I'm gonna make like some little bags if you ever want to see these little bags. So I'm gonna put some beaded tassel on the other side too, so that you don't have to just like pull up. You can kind of like pull them both at the same time, and it'll probably work better. But I love the look of this with the glow throw yarn. And let me get those blankets. And these are those other throw blankets that I made. Of course, I've already showed these in other videos and stuff. These are the ones that I made with my EG stitch. And I haven't one. I actually got a like one of those quilt racks. Is that what you call it? I got it at Goodwill. It was marked at like $5.99, but then later on I looked at the receipt, and it was the half off day for that color, and so it was only $3, and so that's where I have my throw blankets over there when I'm not using them. But and so I made this one with my EG stitch, and then this is that glow throw that I wish I could capture better on camera. That has like almost the glow effect with the two yarns and stuff. And so other than that, I did make up the stitch, and I know it's ridiculous. I know that I recognize that like it's very possible that I just happened to make up a stitch that already existed. And so like when I do the tutorial, there might be somebody that watches it and thinks, what are you talking about? You made up your own stitch. That's like the Amish apple butter stitch from the 1600. Like what? It's very, very possible that I just happened to make up a stitch that already existed. But if you know what the name of it, please don't tell me. Like, because in my head, I'm always going to feel like I made up that stitch. Because it took me so long. I have so many scraps of things where I was trying to make up my own stitch that they were all just all clumped up and just messed up. And I finally got it. I wanted to incorporate my initials in the whole like 57 thing, because like E is the 5th letter of the alphabet and G is the 7th. And so I was like, trying to go into different things and different chains and all this, and use like the number 5 and the number 7, and so like it can make like the EG stitch or whatever, like have my initials in it. And there were just so many attempts where it just didn't work, and then one day I did something and it actually worked, and it's perfect. And so that I'm always gonna feel like I came up with this, because and it creates like this really cool texture and like these little bumps and stuff, and it's really nice, and I'm really proud of it. And even if I just happen to come up with something that already existed or whatever, there's almost like a Tunisian crochet kind of element to it, and it's a really unique thing. And so I did make it up, but that doesn't mean that it hasn't previously existed. I know that there are probably books, and I know there's videos and stuff of people that do all kinds of different stitches and stuff, and so it may have existed. Just please don't tell me. I don't want to know. I always want to believe that I made it up, because I did. And so, but I will do a tutorial, even if it's one for like the whatever stitch it actually is. But it's always going to be the EG stitch, because I made it up, whether I just stumbled on an existing one or not. And okay, otherwise there's a couple random things sitting here while I still have a couple minutes. I did make like a little tiny little bag thing or whatever. It has this is a sort of a random thing that I made. Has like little handles on it or something. It was just like a tiny little thing that I made. I did make a little Pride thing with the EG stitch. It looks really pretty in the primary colors too. And then I thought of like leaving the ends and not weaving them in, and like attaching something here, or like, you know, making it into something that where you can hang it up. And so I might leave it like that. And then I made one, or no, this is the one I'll do because I made it a little bit too long. This one I'm going to weave in the ends because this is like the right proportions for a pride flag. But this one is like, it's a little bit too long, and so I'm going to leave this one hanging like this, and make it into something where you can hang it up like that. And I'll probably make some with the EG stitch, hopefully, and with all the pride flags that I can try to do. And then otherwise, like some little random things. This is where something like, I wish I'm sure I filmed myself doing this kind of stuff, but where I made like these little doily things. I feel like that it would be the perfect kind of thing to go under a candy dish, like this one especially, where I was just kind of like playing around with the number 5 and the number 7 and doing all these like increase decrease things, or like whatever, and or I can't remember exactly how I did it, but I made like these pretty little doilies. It just feels like the perfect kind of thing to go underneath the candy dish. And so I was just like messing around with it. I didn't use a pattern. I was just kind of like, you know, messing around with the numbers, and this is after my EG stitch. I was thinking maybe I can come up with something else with the whole 57 thing, because this was so successful, this stitch, when I came up with it. But so I made like these little doily things. I don't know what I'll do with these. And then I did start that forest yarn that I got, that really good discounted yarn. I did start a throw blanket with this. This is how far I've gotten with that. And so that's what this forest yarn looks in the EG stitch. Oh, my throw blanket here. This one, this is how far I've gotten on that the regular moss stitch throw blanket. I'm using that Hobby Lobby yarn that mixes the black with the colors. I got every kind of colorway that they make that look like this, and I'm going to alternate between them. Some are there's one that's pink, there's one that's blue, there's one that's purple, and one that's black, and whatever. And so this is how far I've gotten on that. But I did this a long time ago. I just haven't picked this up for a while. So I did that, but that's over here on my little shelf to be finished. And I need to do a video where I talk about all the things that I'm going to be doing, my whips or whatever, the ideas of the things that I have ideas for, and the things that I'm already working on that just aren't finished yet. And this is like the little thing that I made that I want to make a little crocheted. Or I guess this would be the closest thing to an amigurumi that I'd make, but not really. It's like a little skein of yarn. But then I found that the one, I don't know if it's, I'll just edit it in. That one that I found, those ones at Joann that, you know, look like little skeins of yarn that's like a little plushy. But I had already made this, and I want to make like one out of some out of crochet and turn them into little keychains and sell those. But I want to make this look more like yarn. I want to add some yarn to this to make it look like yarn, like a skein of yarn, instead of it just being crochet. And then I do have this throw blanket that I'm working on. The one that I was showing that I do have some yarn in that that stackable shelf at the bottom, and it's like some sort of neutral, almost camouflage sort of colors. And this is how far I've gotten on that. This is using the dash moss stitch, and I'm going to be alternating between like browns and greens, and there's a story behind, like, you know, how I acquired this yarn, and but it involves something that is somebody that somebody's working on that I don't want to give away in a video in case they come across it. But that's how I got this extra yarn, and so and why I'm using it to make a throw blanket. But so I'm working on that too. Let me see if there's anything else. Well, I did make my friend, she already has it, so I'll have to edit it in. It's the shawl that is behind me in the big picture where I'm in front of behind my table with all my stuff on it. It's the one that kind of comes down like this to a point. I used Red Art Super Saver favorite stripe for that. I made that shawl, and I gave it to my best friend. And then in that same package, I made I made a scarf for her daughter that using that favorite stripe, and it's like this sort of a thin decorative scarf because they live in Arizona, so she's not going to need like a really thick one. But so I made that too. And otherwise, I think other than my teddy bear sweater, which I already talked about in my other video that uses this kind of yarn. Other than my teddy bear sweater, I know that this was the last thing I made in my first year of crochet. I think that's everything that I made in my first year of crocheting. And I know this video was all over the place, but whatever. Just, you know, that's just who I am. But and so I think it's kind of perfect that, you know, the sweater's the last thing I made, and I'll eventually make the little pillow thing that the old sweater is going to go in, and maybe a new hat and everything, and that'll be coming in the second year. But anyway, so that's it's a lot of stuff. Now the video's over, I'm gonna have to put all this stuff away, and you know, because it's all in the middle of the floor and all over the table. But so that's all the stuff that I made in my first year of crochet, and I just can't believe, like I just did it to learn, or I just learned how to crochet to make my mom a blanket. I never really thought that I would it would get as extensive as this is, like, you know, my obsession with it. I just thought I would learn how to crochet and maybe make a few bookmarks, and I never really thought I'd make all this stuff. But it's just been a wonderful experience, and I love crochet, and I love that that a lot of like male crocheters are gravitating towards my page, because I know that there's like this stigma out there about crochet, even with some people I know, where it just sort of feels like, oh, it's a grandma thing, or it's a, you know, a little old lady thing. But like a lot of men are picking up crochet, and a lot of kids too, because of the rise of amigurumi being a trend and everything. And I love that, like, there's so many, because crochet is such a fun, it's a fun hobby. It's therapeutic for a lot of people. It's really relaxing and stuff, and I'm glad that a lot of people are picking it up, and I'm glad that I picked it up to the extent that I have. And it wasn't just like this one-off thing where I was going to make my mom a blanket and then I'd be over with, or it'd be over with, or I'd be done with it. But that it's something that I'm really enjoying, and obviously, because I have a big wall behind me of yarn. It's a really fun hobby, and I'm really glad that I picked it up, and I'm also glad that I'm like putting out these videos and they're actually doing well, because I'm connecting with all these really nice people. And like if you're one of my commenters and subscribers and stuff, and like I appreciate you so much, because I love hearing all the little stories of like what you're crocheting, or like how you stumbled upon my channel, what you like to watch my videos, and what you're doing, and how much yarn you have, and like I love all this stuff. I never thought that I would become like, you know, immersed in the like YouTube yarn community and stuff. It's like such an amazing community, and so many like really just wonderful comments, and people are so nice and kind and everything, and funny, and I love being a part of this community now. I mean, I never really expected to become like practically a full-time crocheter. I do other things too, but like, you know, it seems like that's all I do is crochet. But I never really thought I'd do that, and then you know, it's leading to all this other stuff, and I'm getting to meet all these new people in the comments, and it's really fun. I'm really glad that I'm crocheting and stuff, and that I have like all these things to show for what I need to do. What I'll probably do is I'll put at the end of this video, unless it's like, you know, 18 hours long. Now, what I'll put at the end of this video is I really love the moment in my first video that I posted on YouTube last year that hardly anybody watched, and where I was like talking about how important crochet was, and how because I procrastinate a lot in my life, and like having the bookmarks, it was they almost felt like accomplishments every time I did one, and it's like a really good, and I through that little bit of conversation with myself, I really realized that like what I want to do with not just my crochet, with like practically everything in my life, is I hopefully want to inspire people to find ways to be creative in their life, and so when I sort of like stumbled upon those words in that the end of that video, it sort of became part of not just the introduction that I used to say in my old videos, but also it sort of became a part of like the mantra I say to myself, or like the thought process I have with anything that I create, because it's true. Everything that I do, it's and the way I'll put myself out there, and anything that I want to do creatively, it's to hopefully inspire you to find ways to be creative in your life, because I am lucky enough to have, you know, found creativity, like found myself in my creativity, and been able to like live in this creative, like ridiculous creative life for so many years, and get to do all kinds of things, and use all kinds of mediums, and do all kinds of artistic things, and this is just one more new thing that I get to do, and I love the way that my life is, and the way that I have leaned so far into creativity, and just embraced that creative side of me, and that's what I want. I hope that I get to inspire people to do the same kind of thing. You know, maybe not lean into it as hard as I have. It's probably an OCD thing too. I'm obsessed with, like, you know, anything creative. But hopefully I will inspire you to you know, find something creative. If it's not crochet, I don't know why you'd be watching this, but if if you just happen to stumble upon here or something, or you're like overhearing this from somebody else watching it, and you're not interested in crochet, hopefully you'll find something else to. There's all kinds of mediums. I've practically picked up every one of them. All kinds of things to do in drawing and art, and just hopefully, I just want you to find something to be. Find ways to be creative in your life and do something artistic, and there's just, you get so much out of it, and you get so much fulfillment, and it makes you happy, and it can be relaxing and stuff, and because you know, the world is just so chaotic all the time, and there's all kinds of stress and everything, and so taking the time to do something artistic, or you know, just to crochet, or like what it sort of takes you away from that. It makes your life better and happier, and I love it, and I'm glad that I'm glad that I'm crocheting, and I'm glad that I can be a part of this, you know, wonderful online yarn community and stuff, and hopefully you make videos that you apparently like. I can't believe I'm still getting like subscribers and viewers and views and comments and stuff. It's still, I'm never going to get used to it. I'm always going to be shocked that, holy crap, I have another comment or another subscriber. It's amazing and incredible, all because of yarn. Like, we're all connected by yarn, apparently. The creative things that we do, and our creativity and stuff, and how we've embraced it to the point of it being ridiculous for some people. But anyway, I'm glad that you or I hope that you enjoyed watching this video and stuff, and I'm glad that you're, you know, watching my videos and everything, and like and subscribe and comment down below, and tell me what you like, tell me what you're working on, or like you ask any kind of questions you might have, or like how did you make this, or where did you get that tutorial, or what tutorial did you follow, what yarn did you use for this, or like whatever, and just tell me what you think, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. But at the end, I'll attach the video that from my last time on YouTube, so that you can see, because it spells it out better than I did in this video, like what crocheting has meant to me in terms of my life and stuff. And so anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I guess that's all, and if there's anything else, I can always, you know, edit it in later or whatever. I'll pop up at the end and say, oh, by the way, I forgot that I also crocheted this. But I seriously, I think that's all I've done. So, not to say like, oh, that's all I've done. There's I'm really proud of what I've done, and I wanted to document that in some way. And if anybody enjoys this anytime in the future, if I ever post this, then, you know, I hope this inspires you to do the same kind of thing, and find an interest that. Like, yeah, I'm going to sell some of this stuff, but, you know, the blanket is not to sell, and I've made bookmarks, and I'm giving them to people, and they've liked them and stuff, and I've made things for other people. It's just a really fun thing, and it's a way, with my life the way it is, and how many projects I have, and I'm all the time thinking about this huge 1,000-item list in my head of all the things I need to get to, and all my projects and stuff. I'm always thinking about how I haven't gotten to all those things, and it really makes me feel good that to feel like I've made accomplishments in my life. When I get to check off one of those things in that giant list in my head, it's just this huge relief. And so when I took up crocheting and making these little bookmarks and stuff, it feels like, if you're anything like me and you have all these things to get to, and all these projects and things you've put off, or procrastination is a huge problem of mine, and you put it off and stuff, and you haven't done things for you know, you haven't followed through with things, or finished things, or you start things and you haven't finished, or you need to get to this but you've been so busy. But picking up crochet, or something like crochet, maybe not crochet, maybe you pick up something else. This is just something in my life that it feels like, you know, I sit down, and I'm getting better at it. I used to, when I'd sit down and sit down and crochet a bookmark, it would take me about an hour, a little bit over an hour, to make one of these. Now I can probably make these in a little over 30 minutes. That's how, you know, quick I'm getting at it. And so it just feels like I sit down, I start crocheting, and I'm done. I actually, it feels like I made an accomplishment. I actually followed through with something. I finished something. I still need to make the tassels and stuff, but I like finished crocheting the thing.
it feels like this huge, I mean, they're not huge accomplishments, but it just feels like this huge deal to me to be making accomplishments, to feel like I've made accomplishments. And when I you know, in my head all the time, I just feel I'm reminding myself, you know, in a very OCD way, to just how many things I haven't followed through with, how many things I haven't finished yet. But to feel like, you know, I'm actually accomplishing things and finishing things. That's what I'm really getting out of crocheting. Yeah, it would be nice if, you know, some of this paid off and I actually finished these and put them on Etsy and all that kind of stuff, and people actually wanted to buy these or buy some of the things that I make, or that would be a really nice thing too. But like, what I'm getting out of this stuff now is making accomplishments and feeling really good about, like, I'm following through with things. I take an idea, like I want to start to crochet. I have this really nice yarn. I want to make a bookmark out of it. I sit down. 30 minutes later, I've actually done it. It feels really good to make accomplishments, to actually have something to show. Like, I have all these ideas. I have all these projects that I'm working on, all these stories that I'm working on and stuff. But if somebody says, oh, you know, what did you do today? I can say, oh, I worked on I worked on a chapter in my book. But I have nothing to show. I'm not going to, you know, let somebody read it until it's finished. So I don't have the books done. I don't have the whole stories done. I don't have some of these other projects completely finished. So it doesn't feel as good, because it doesn't feel like I've accomplished that yet. I haven't finished those things yet. But these, I feel like it's in a very micro, small sort of way. I'm making accomplishments in my life. That's what these kind of represent to me right now. And just because, you know, I've gone through years of feeling like not that I haven't done things. Of course I've done things, but all the other things that I haven't done yet just to kind of overshadow all that stuff and keep me from enjoying the things that I actually have accomplished. And so these things, there's a lot of them, and I've done a lot of them, and it just makes me feel like I'm making accomplishments, even in a very small way, a little crocheted bookmark kind of way. That's what I'm getting out of it now. But anyway, so if this video inspires you to start to crochet and make accomplishments in your life, even small ones that are just, you know, made out of yarn and stuff, then, you know, I hope that's what you get out of this. And if you have no interest in it at all, at least I hope, you know, I made you laugh a few times, or, you know, I don't know, kept you company if you're, you know, lonely or like whatever. I don't know. I don't know why you'd watch this, but for whatever reason you watch this, I hope, you know, you enjoyed the video and stuff, and enjoyed looking at all the stuff that I've made, and hopefully it inspires you to do something, you know, creative with your life. That's how I should end my videos. That's really what I want people. I want people to enjoy the stuff that I do. You know, bookmark wise, story wise, you know, design wise, whatever. But I also want them to, you know, find ways to be creative in their life. I want to inspire people to be creative in their life, because it's like my entire life. Every aspect of my life is, I apply creativity to every single aspect of my life, no matter what it is. And even something like little practical things, I find ways to be creative about it. And so hopefully that is what my goal will be. Hopefully that's what I'll accomplish with these videos, or anything that I do. A website network, blog posts, stories, or like what. Hopefully, no matter what I do, no matter what you get out of what I've done, no matter what you come across, whether it's one of my videos or something I've written or like whatever, hopefully it you know, gives you some kind of inspiration to, you know, find ways to be creative in your life. And that's really all that I, you know, want these to be. And but okay, I guess that's it. So